record has started.
Oh shit. It's real now.
Now we're on the record.
Oh god.
We're on the record now.
Okay.
Gotta keep it professional, boys.
I can't bury anybody.
No more burials.
I'm done with that. You
Yeah.
missed all that before the recording.
Yeah, no shit, right?
David's gonna think I mean him.
Oh wow.
Not this time. I'm still booked, so I guess I won't say anything bad about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yep. Great show in the land of the rising sun.
Dude, the land of the... Did you see the new one this morning? The land of the rising sun, Hong Kong, China?
Oh my god.
That's
This
why
has
I
become the
messaged the
greatest
chat
thing
this
ever.
morning. I messaged the chat this morning. I'm like, at this point, if I say anything else, now I'm just picking on them.
Yeah.
Like now I'm just a bully if I make
Did you
fun of
see-
them more. I did totally consider putting my green screen back up just to put a map of Asia behind me and be like, this is where we're at.
Oh, I did you one better. I don't know if you saw mine.
Not yet. That's
What I did was
all my watching is for today.
What I did was, I had my typical like background and shit up, and then I edited a monitor lowering down, and then the map popped up on the monitor screen, and I'm like, now you see this is Japan. And then go through, it's like, okay, I'm done. You can fuck off now.
I appreciate the creativity of putting all the shows in foreign countries, but you're dealing with a bunch of people that don't understand like the geography of the town they live in, much less other countries.
Right?
I got motherfuckers in MapQuest and shit still. I can just feel it. So like
I'm like, bro, how do you fuck that up, man? And then it got worse. I didn't expect it to get worse. I thought my guy was gonna be the only one to fuck that up.
No, I knew if anybody
everyone did.
It was my dudes. Like, here, try this one.
There's so much for not burying people.
I'm going to. Look how much it costs.
So why do you need a $10 million clock? Because why not? That's why. Well, it started now.
Yeah. So much for not burying people, am I right?
Look, man, I can't bury them any worse than
you gotta call a spade a spade.
Sometimes you just gotta bring it up and just get it out of your system. And that's where we're at in our lives today.
Yeah. All right. At this point, fuck the proper intro. Welcome to the show.
You said it was going to be a wild one before we even started recording.
Yeah, because I'm cooking.
I'm on like 4.5 hours of sleep. This coffee's the only thing keeping me up. Y'all
cooking literally and figuratively. Like, why am I wearing this jacket? I never took my jacket off when I got home from work.
I mean, are we gonna do matching black and orange? Because I'll go put my Bengals jersey on.
This is more blue than black.
Well, it looks black on camera, fam. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess.
I'll just rock the Bengals hat. Hooday! Shout out Tyler. I think this is the one Tyler gave me. No, this is the one I got at Ross. Tyler gave me the other one.
Oh yeah, this one's got me feeling a little nostalgic.
Oh! Wait a second. Wait a goddamn motherfucking second here, boys. Hold on. I was joking about changing shirts before, but I'll put the grown-up logo on. Don't. I'll put that Moneymaker t-shirt on. Don't worry about that.
There we go. There we go. Oh. Man, I thought Lauren's episode was unhinged. We at least got an intro with that one.
Yeah, no. This is just going to be fun times.
Yeah. I'll I'll throw a couple of these little question things in here from time to time, but like this is just me and her went like 2 hours yesterday just on ADHD tirades. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Who knows what's
that's going to be a
here.
lot. Yeah, who knows what this is going to be, except for a ton of fun. So if you're ready to laugh for however long this lasts,
yeah,
that's what this is going to be.
Because I'm sure there are some moments.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we're going to bury more people.
You never know. There's only one way to find out, and that's to
I
not
run
leave.
XWE. I run XWE now. I can't get fired from it anymore, so it's cool.
Yeah. Who cares? Oh man. So I will keep some semblance of the show's formula intact here. Yeah, because I am just I put down a bunch of stuff that not so much that'll be like popular question shit I'm genuinely curious to know.
All right.
About people, right? Cool. So I'm always interested. I think about a lot of these people. I'm like, I wonder what they were doing before they found eFeds. Like what was taking up some of these people's free times before?
Let's see. Before I found eFeds, I was doing actual independent pro wrestling.
Well.
Like I mean, like that was the thing. Like I was doing indie shows and shit. Which I mean, I'm still doing indie shows up until like 3 years ago. Pandemic and injuries and shit happened and whatever. But the funny part
actually
was
wrestling.
No, well, sometimes I was mostly a manager.
Okay.
Which is why like talking was like moving into this was so easy because I was already used
to it. Right.
So like,
that's why I say like if for any reason the actual wrestling gig doesn't work out, I know I got this going for me.
Exactly right. I could go, play fake wrestling like my brother calls it. But no, so I was doing that, and I was on the Indie Movement Facebook page, and which is run by everybody's best friend, the most attractive man in eFeds, TJ Vegas. Contractually obligated to call him that, and
overall nice guy.
The overall great guy.
Yeah, great guy. Even
great
better
guy, buddy.
Great guy, nice guy, cool guy.
And we he needed an admin that knew about Southeastern wrestling, and I was like, "Hey, I'm from the Southeast, and I'm in the wrestling business. I got you, fam." And I was the drizzling shits. I was the worst admin he's ever had. I couldn't remember to fucking post anything. When I did, it was like, I'm just going to advertise my shows, and that was all I remember. But in the process, we became friends, and he introduced me to this whole eFed fucking insanity. So this is all his fault.
I can't. Normally, I wait till like the end of shows to say, but we're already just going crazy. He's next.
Oh God!
I've got him Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah.
he's a good interview because.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Like I know I make this comparison a lot. And like you two talking is going to be great because I see like I hate to put it this way, so don't take it the wrong way. I see so much of him in you.
Oh yeah.
Like. Just even
how could I take that the wrong way?
Well, you know what I mean, like generationally, like I knew him first, right? So like
yeah,
I look at you and I'm like, man, he's so much like it's like watching a young TJ again, even though you are technically young TJ, but neither here nor there. But it's weird too because I say this all the time, and I think I've said it to you before, is that neither one of you realizes how fucking good you are. So like
I think in the last couple months, I think I've started to become a little more self-aware.
I think so. Yeah, I think we're realizing it now. And he's the same way. Like I think now that he's out, or not out, but not as in as he used to be, he has more perspective. So like he still has all the fucking what's the thing I'm looking for? Imposter syndrome. Like he still has fucking imposter syndrome like a motherfucker. Where he's like,
I mean,
he's like, no, everybody just blows me up because I'm different. But I'm not as good as I think I am. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, you're probably better. Like,
Yeah. It's like, I've said this before, like, for years, he was the one person that could make me stop in my tracks when I was scrolling. I'm
that
like,
dude,
well, Joey's on.
I see
Time to
Joey
kick back.
Taylor has posted. I'm like,
Yep. Clear the
game
calendar
on,
for the
let me
next
click
few
the
minutes.
button. Yeah, like,
Yep.
I don't know what this motherfucker's gonna do, but I know I want to see it.
Yeah. I
And
think
it doesn't matter whether
I
it's
think
him as Vegas or him as Joey or like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, I love Intoxico. I
oh
love
man, the funniest thing
Juggalo.
for like a good couple years before, like, you know, well, I wouldn't say years because more like, you know, I would say probably in the months before I linked up with you guys, I did not know that he and Intoxico were the same person.
Like,
I was
it's
convinced
crazy.
that they were different.
It's so crazy to watch. Like the running joke before Devil's Night last year, which was like supposed to be his big retirement, but obviously things have changed.
Yeah.
But the running joke was the week before on the weekly show, the Super Show, whatever we were calling it. We were gonna do a battle royal of all of his gimmicks. Like TJ versus Joey versus Intoxico versus Juggalo versus Trickster, which I don't think you've probably ever seen because I think that
No,
was
I
only an
don't think.
SPW. Oh, dude,
Yeah,
Trickster
no.
was wild. Trickster was like his Will-O-the-Wisp,
Oh my god.
right? Versus Chesterfield versus Commissioner Shepard, I think was going to be like the guest commentator for the match.
Uh-huh.
I
Where does
missed
Brad
it.
Taylor fall in this?
Oh,
You remember
dude,
Brad Taylor?
I do. Like it was going to be.
Yeah, I remember.
It
when
was
he
literally
came
going
up
to be
with
like a
that one.
10-man battle royal, and it was just going to be nothing but TJ Vegas promos.
Oh man.
And nobody was going to get the fucking joke except for like 5 of us, and that was fine. I was like, I don't even care.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That dude he's the most creative person. Like, I mean, he did all the fucking graphics and shit for the Uncut podcast. Like,
oh yeah.
It's amazing the things that guy can do.
Oh yeah. And
But yeah,
just
so me getting into E-Feds, that was him.
beautiful. So beautiful. It's like I lost my train of thought for a second.
Did you? Did you? Wonder why?
Yeah. I don't know. There's something in the air.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'm a little foggy.
Smidge.
Just a smidge.
Well, I've got
So-
some delicious French vanilla coffee, which doesn't help you at all.
you got-
It's got me good.
No. I've got water with a fruit punch packet.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah. It's great value.
No. Nothing great value ever. I refuse. I get enough of that shit for free at work.
Okay. When about what point, if there was one, did getting into the whole Fed shit, you were like, at what point did you realize this was something that you could like commit to on like a longer term scale? Because I know there's some people who, do it for a few months, it doesn't click, and then they walk, and then there's the ones like us who have been doing this shit for years now.
Yeah. I mean,
What was sort of that clicking moment, if there was one?
It'll be 8 years in July that I've been doing this, and
That's a good hot minute.
Yeah. Well, and I did writtens like years and years ago, and I was terrible at it. But
Same.
So okay, so to give you that answer, I have to give you like a little backstory. So like when I first got into E-Feds, I was doing SPW, which was like TJ's place basically, which had grown from being Grant's place into TJ's place. And I didn't realize there were other E-Feds. I thought this was just something like, because there was only like 15, 20 people in the group at any point, like actively competing. So I was like, oh, this is just a fun little small thing.
Yeah, it was funny. Anton said something very similar in his show I did with him, where he was like starting in a very small place, and then all of a sudden the world got big.
Yeah. So like, TJ brings me to IW because
Okay.
he was doing he was feuding with Madhouse, which was Zachy and Onions and somebody else. And he was like, "Hey, I need a tag team partner. Do you want to come to this other group and be my tag team partner?" I was like, "Fucking other group? There's another one? Okay, all right." So I went to IW and did that, and I see Zachy and Onions and Legion Cole and Steinbaum, who I fucking loved.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember him a little
and
bit.
Matt Minnick and all these guys, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, maybe this is something. And I joined IW on Black Easter, right?
Okay, hold on, pause. I've been waiting for a day like this. No one will tell me what the fuck that was about. I have
Oh no,
never
I'm not
heard.
at liberty.
This was before me.
I'm
Can
not
I
at
give?
liberty to discuss Black Easter.
Uh,
We don't discuss it anymore.
generalization?
Uh,
Fucked
Zachy
up shit happened, I guess.
Zachy Monstar basically saying that he was going to sleep with Thomas Austin's 3-year-old daughter or granddaughter.
Spicy.
Yeah. It was right around the same time that Steinbaum became the first non-IW exclusive to win the IW World title, which said a whole bunch of shit. You know how IW is. I mean, they're very protective of their exclusives.
Yeah.
And so for a
Just a little
non-exclusive to
bit.
win it was huge. And yeah.
Mhm.
But mostly it was the Zachy and Thomas thing. That was the big one. But and he didn't even say he was gonna. Okay, what he said was, in general, was that when Thomas's granddaughter turned 18, he was going to turn her into his rat, which, for anybody uninformed, is the wrestling version of a groupie. So yeah, and that was
wow.
Yeah, Zachy almost got banned from eFeds for that shit. Like there used to be. This is no joke. There used to be an eFed council.
I've heard about this legendary council.
There used
And I
to be.
think I might have heard fucking Jason talk about the whole like trial thing with Zach.
Yeah.
Before. I think I've heard him bring that up before.
There used to be a time where even though it was a competition, eFed owners actually talked and could get along.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody needed to be blackballed, they would all work together and they would do that. They would just stop booking people like Jay Yost or Dylan Belcher instead of giving them fucking, groups to talk in or shitting on them, but then still somehow giving them an audience. Anyway, I'm not talking about anybody in particular that's doing that currently. Hey,
no
man,
idea.
It gets you views. It gets you views. I can't fault anybody. It just doesn't make a lot. Never mind. I book those people. I like them. I said I wasn't going to bury anybody.
Well, then, like 2 or 3 minutes into the recording.
Well, look, there's a difference between burying some people and burying other people.
Process of elimination.
Look, man, I don't know. All I'm going to say is this. There was a time where if somebody was a piece of shit and did piece of shit things, you just got rid of them out of the community. Mm-hmm. And now it feels like, fuck it, I've come this far. Now it feels like, hey, this person's controversial and we can talk about them. And we'll let them come on here and bury themselves and we'll all make fun of that instead of just not giving them the attention that they want and letting them fucking disappear.
Yeah, like that's kind of always been my thing, the infamous man in the mask. I've always said, why the fuck do people pay attention to this guy? Like, just
Yeah.
this is clearly someone who, if he does not get the attention, is going to migrate somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like,
let people like
let
that
these
play
people
in their hidey hole.
Mhm.
If you have a group, if you're a piece of shit and you have a group of people that are willing to be like, yeah, he's a piece of shit, but he's our piece of shit. Okay, cool. I mean, fuck those people along with fuck you. People that continue to deal with that guy or deal with the Belchers or the Yosts of the world. Okay, whatever. That's them. But we don't need that kind of bullshit infecting the whole fucking community just because it's funny to make fun of those people.
Right.
Because those are the people that are getting off on being talked about.
Yeah. Like,
nobody talks about Dylan Belcher except for there's like once a year his name fucking pops up. Like, okay, we've covered the fact that he said some dumb shit on TikTok and fucking buried himself, and we all found out he banged a 16-year-old. That's fucking stupid. He's a dumbass. He should go to jail, whatever. Okay. It's now been a week and a half. It's been covered. Now he's just sitting in his fucking bedroom jerking off at it. He's like, they're still talking about me. They care about me. No, let him not think you care, and he'll fucking disappear like he did for the last year and a half.
Yeah, like, what's the just let it die.
Let him run his shitty TikTok e-fed and move on with our lives. Like he has. Like when I was still on TikTok, I remember seeing his shitty e-fed promos on there, and I was like, blocked.
Yeah, like just if I got reason to believe I shouldn't be around someone, I'm not wasting my time with the I've never understood the whole philosophy of if you block then you're cowardly.
I don't call it cowardly. I think if you're in the same fed as someone, if you're not in a match with that person, have them blocked. If for whatever reason, like, you agree to a match with a person, because if I think there's heat between people, and I think, well, I'm not going to name names, but let's just say, like, if there was heat between two people, and they're in the middle of a program and some heat breaks loose, well, I'm going to try to fuck it. I think we all know what I'm talking about. But if I'm in the middle of booking that feud, I'm going to be like, all right, is everybody cool with finishing this, or do I need to fucking wrap this shit up? And I'm either going to fucking wrap it up early because it needs to get wrapped up, or like, and then when we're done, you block the motherfucker again. I don't have a lot of e-fed people blocked, even people that I don't particularly care for. I just ignore them. Like if they pop up on my feed, how hard is it to go and scroll up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like there's right now, I think the only people I have blocked are people who have spammed my DMs with like weird, like spammy shit.
Yes.
It's like I don't fuck with those. I'm struggling to remember. There was one Fed guy who would just like spam his shit to me constantly. I'm like, okay, no.
Yeah, no. I'm big on the mute button. I love the mute and ignore features. But beyond that, no, I'm not. I just don't see a point in blocking people when I can just ignore them just as easily. Because you never know. Sometimes that person you blocked eventually might be the person you either need for something, or maybe they fucking want to make amends, and now you've got them fucking blocked. I mean, fuck, I had Tyler Throne blocked for like 3 months one time, and now that's one of my best friends in the world. So,
yeah, crazy how it all works out. I know some of my current best friends right now were blocked for many months. At one point, everyone has those moments.
I mean, if the time ever comes where I have to block more people than I want to talk to, I'll just shut down my Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the minute that there becomes more people to hate talking to than there are people to enjoy talking to, then this ain't the place to rock.
Dude, like, I mean, if it wasn't for XWE and Cerberus and now I guess IW just because that's a thing in my life again. Like I probably wouldn't have a Facebook.
Mhm.
Like the people I need to talk to, I can talk to on Messenger. I think my actual Facebook timeline is just full of fucking toxic bullshit 90% of the time. It's all
Yeah.
political bullshit, and I'm not like I don't care enough
Yeah,
about
no.
politics to like pay attention
No.
to it.
No, it's real easy to scroll past that shit.
Yeah,
I pay no mind.
exactly. If you can ever be in a group chat with Thomas Austin, by the way, don't just say no. Just say no.
He, it was funny.
Simultaneously hilarious, and it never stops.
You know what's funny is I think near the end of the match we had before Invasion, like maybe a couple days or so before the results came out, he just randomly started messaging me, and he I don't know, he has a very interesting approach with me where he just assumes that I am an overly dramatic, sensitive person for some reason.
You're friends with me.
So he goes, hey, young man. I hope you're having fun.
Oh, dude. He cracks me up. Like, he messaged me when I booked that. And he's like, I like TJ Blair, man. I hope he has fun the next couple weeks. Dude, I will say this. Him and Ryan, Klimashevsky. I think I finally can say his name right.
There you go. I mean,
him and Ryan Klimashevsky.
I think it helps. I think it helps that he says it multiple times.
In all his promos now. Yeah.
Yeah. And that really helps get it down because I wasn't sure I'd get it first. And then now you
I've
hear
had
him
that
say
man
enough
in my house and I still couldn't say his name. That man has literally sat in my living room and watched fucking football with me. And I'm still like, our money. Your name's our money. I don't know what else to do with you, bro.
Our money or Ryan K.
Young Ryan. Yeah, he was young Ryan for a long time.
Young Ryan.
Well, because when we used to play 2K all the time, I would have him and Huck in the same chat.
Oh,
and
yeah.
At first it was Big Ryan and Little Ryan. And then I actually met, when Ryan came up here back in, what was it, October or so? September, one or the other. He's taller than me. So he couldn't be Little Ryan anymore. No. He couldn't be Little Ryan anymore. He had to be
how tall is he?
No, he's not like huge. Like he's probably, I mean, I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day, so he's probably right at 6 foot.
Oh, yeah, both you
know who's a fucking tall motherfucker is Tyler Throne.
Really? How tall is he?
Tyler Throne's got to be 6'3", dude.
He's just got me beat.
Yeah, like because I don't know.
I'm a legit 6'2".
The promo that we dropped in High Society, like, yeah, I know.
Hard to say. I don't really remember where that was.
We were building the Cage of Death in High Society, and I was in Florida. Like me, my brother, and a couple of our cousins, we were in Florida, and he was like 45 minutes down the road because he lives there, of course, and he came and watched SummerSlam with us.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
That was, I guess, it had to be 21 because we watched Punk come back the night before. So, and he came down and watched SummerSlam with us, and we shot a promo after SummerSlam out on the beach, which was slick. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to be cutting this promo. I'm going to say this line, and you come up from behind me and just fucking forearm the shit at me right between the shoulder blades. I'm like, I don't care. I've been hit by bigger. I've been hit by scarier. Just fucking. And I have never had to sell a lighter shot in my life. I don't know if he was just scared to hit me. Like he didn't want to hurt me. Not like he's scared of me if he ever listens to this. I don't mean it like that. I just, he didn't want to hurt me.
He totally meant it that way. He's just being nice.
Obviously, I'm a terrifying Jesus. With my red hair and my septum piercing. I know what I am. Sorry, wifey made a face. But no, like so, but that dude, and then like he's standing behind me in a picture, and his whole head is like above me, and I'm like, God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Killian Gavin, same size as me though. I don't care that he tried to tell everybody I'm short. Same size.
And I know, we brought up Zach earlier. That's a big motherfucker right there.
He's like, I heard like a legit like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's fucking huge.
Yeah, I've seen pictures
And
of
like
people.
because like he retired, right?
Yeah.
Or like actually wrestling.
Well, yeah, from actually wrestling, and then he
Yeah.
started. Then he no-showed me a bunch in XWE. So whenever he's ready to come back, he can message me.
But like I remember like seeing like some of the shit he'd do in the ring, and it's like, bro, you are huge and you're doing some wild shit, man.
Fucking Draven Frost is a huge motherfucker too.
Mhm.
Like not height wise, just huge. Like just fucking jacked as fuck. Like
I'm not gonna lie, I would love to get Zach on here someday. I feel like that would be a fascinating
he's a fucking
one.
crazy conversation, man. We had him on both the EFED version and the pro wrestling version of Uncut.
Oh, nice.
And he is crazy to talk to.
Yeah,
like,
he was
he's
probably
so fucking smart. Like it's wild.
Yeah, he was. Well, I've gotten to work with him a couple times. The first time was very early in the IW run when I was like just fucking popping up, and I mean, I must have got him right at the, I guess, right at the peak of his like give a shit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he went in on my fat ass,
dude. That's the thing. Like a motivated Zachy is
scary.
Is legitimately scary shit. Like I was booked to face him in PWA, which was comp at the time, and it was the same day. I don't know if you've. This might have been before your time. If you've ever seen the promo that he cut on Mariah. When Mariah compared herself to like his ex that had passed away.
Yeah. I have not seen this. I have not. I don't think I have.
I feel like it was something to the effect of she said that she was closer to him than anybody since her. And that was the day he was filming his promo on me. So he goes out, he cuts a shoot on her, and embarrasses her to the point that she disappears. And then he went and filmed his promo on me.
Oh my God.
So I had cut what I felt was one of like the best promos of my life. I was like, I just told a great story. I was intense. And it was comp. So, you only had to be good once. It wasn't like you had to tell a 2-week story. You had to be good one time. I was like, all right. That was my best one shot I could have possibly done. And then
he comes up.
And then I watched Zachy do the first promo on Mariah, and I'm like, and he's not done. He's got me next. Cut the one on me, and I literally just took my phone and I went, all right, then, well, that's the end of that. Well, fuck me, I guess. Like,
yeah, I know. There's
a couple of people that can make you just say "fuck me" and move on with your life. Like,
yeah. I'll have to think on. I'll think over the course of this who some of those might be for me. I'm not sure right off. My brain's not working very well. Can't imagine why.
No
idea.
But
it was the. I say that the match I did with Zach in Alpha was like one of the real like pushes for me. One of the real like, I guess it really felt like a breakout one because like we went nuts.
Yeah.
And I still have all of mine saved on fucking Google Drive. I know they're on the fucking archive page. His is too. Maybe I should go find those and make a fucking compilation or some shit. See, dude, now I'm thinking, but like he really pushed the fuck out of me. I'm on it on my my personal account still.
Yeah, I think David's got me blocked from everything but iWrestling Alpha. For reasons.
Like I've been, I mean, like I'm I'm glad I still have access to this archive stuff because it's kind of working out in my favor right now.
Yeah, I thank God that I haven't deleted anything from my iPhone in years. Like, if I've
Well,
shot a promo, it's still on my iPhone. That's why I have the 256 gig version, and I wanted to get the 1 terabyte just so I could be like, fuck it, I'm never gonna lose anything.
I need better storage in my fucking phone because I'm always having to clear shit out.
Yeah, I
I'm
wouldn't
trying
know
to get
what
better
clear
about
out.
saving. I'm getting better about saving promos again, but I'm saving the important ones. Used to early on, the first, I don't know, 6 months or a year, I was saving literally every single fucking video that I dropped over the course of my first 6-9 months. The good, the bad, and the fucking ugly.
I still save everything because you never know when you're gonna want to look back and be like, wow, even okay, let's take a week like this week, right? In IW. And I'm not saying anything bad about the people I'm facing, but it's not like I'm out there facing you. It's not like I'm going one-on-one with Adam Cage like it was the last show, or it's not the Rocky T match. It's 5 guys who, any other circumstance, this wouldn't be that memorable. Nothing personal, but it's not like a big momentous match. But who knows when I hit that one fucking line and I'm like, God, I'm going to want to remember that because I'm going to want to fucking say that again one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or when I hit that, we were talking about it in the group chat yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago. I go back and I'll see that Thomas Austin promo I cut in the snow where I hit the fucking line and I said, I've stopped so many people from North Carolina, I got Tar Heels. Which so many people have said, dude, that's the line that won you the Alpha title. Because all we could remember, people that judged that match were like, all we could remember from the 2 promos was that line. Because they were both really fucking good, but that line was so over the top. How could you not win after hitting a fucking barn that hard?
Yeah, that was 2019, wasn't it?
It had to be, yeah, yeah. Because I debuted in IW in 17, and then me and Thomas had been doing our feud in PWA, and I know I've told this story a million times, but I'll tell it again because it's fun. David booked that match to shut me up because I had been asking. I was like, look, man, I'm putting in killer work. Just give me a title shot. Let me fucking show what I can do. And Thomas had just won the Alpha title. And he was like, fine.
Yep. I remember exactly where this was.
And he was like,
I remember everything.
I'll put you against Thomas, and we'll call it the last time you're going to face Thomas, which of course it wasn't.
No.
It's happened 10 more times since because everybody loves booking me and Thomas for some reason. And he's like, and we'll do it judged. Because
I remember
David
that.
was like, there's no way Nick can beat Thomas and judged. And he's told me this since.
And
that he booked it because he knew I wasn't going to beat him. And then I went out, and between my promo and the fact that you couldn't hear Thomas over his music, I won.
Yep.
And David tried to get him
that.
to refilm the promo. He was like, take it down now.
Didn't he
refilm it?
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember because I wrote that match. That was that was only my second ever write up. The first one was on that same show.
Dude, he used to have me try to write results, and he got so sick of it because all of my write-ups would be forever long. Because if I'm booking a wrestling match, it's why I'm glad we do video results now, because I could just go out and I hate doing this. I hate giving David credit for anything, but David put it best. He's like, video results should be like watching wrestling with regret. It should be like you go out and you're hearing the description of the match, but it takes them 2 minutes. Brian Zane talks about the match for 2 minutes. He talks about the backstory. He gives you 2 minutes on the match and then anything that happened afterwards. So you're in and out in 5 minutes tops per match.
I do like that. Oh,
And
that is good.
that's how I do video results. Like if you ever watch, like I don't do like how video results were in the beginning, where it was like everybody's talking move by move.
Mm-hmm.
But when I used to write out matches, I didn't have that state of mind. I'm like, well, everybody's just gonna scroll to the fucking end anyway.
Yeah,
So
might as well have fun with it.
I'm gonna fucking jerk myself off, and I'm gonna write a fucking 8-paragraph match, so you have to take forever to scroll. Fuck off.
Yeah, dude.
But it was like, but now, yeah, when I do video results, like I feel bad because some people are like, well, you didn't get my match anytime. I'm like, yeah, but did you not get the whole story you needed from the match?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you need to know about every fucking chin lock and top wrist lock, or do you want to hear this guy hit a big move, this guy hit a big move, and here's the fucking finish? Oh, and here's all the cool shit that happened afterwards. It's the real story of the match. You know, the story in wrestling isn't the moves. It's what's the meaning behind the moves.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me you went out. Like, even when I was booking like real wrestling shows, I'm like, you know, I'll give you 15 minutes to do whatever the fuck you want. Okay, cool. Have fun. Here's what I need from you. And I'd give them the last fucking 30 seconds. Fill in the fucking blanks after that. Here's what I need from you before the match. Here's your finish. Here's what you do after the match. I don't care what you do before that. Just don't look stupid in the process. And that's all it should be. Like, that's all fucking a result show should be. Because nobody cares about all the fucking gaga.
Fair.
They just want to know what fucking story they need to tell for the next show. You know, if it's something like we did with Huck and Rain, where I needed to tell that, you know, Rain did 6 spears. Well, the only reason I did that was to prove that Huck wasn't going to fucking die. You know what I mean? Like, Huck wouldn't say die. You know, when it comes time to do, you know, some of the stuff me and you have talked about, you know, for the future. Like, obviously, I'm going to tell that part of the story. Like I talked about Joey carving the X in your face. You know, that's important.
And I love that reaction
that's going to happen. Oh, dude.
I love that reaction
was the best.
He just goes, oh.
Because that motherfucker was high as a kite and didn't know what the fuck I was going to say. So, and I said it, and I looked down at the bottom of the screen, and he's just, what the fuck are you booking right now? I'm like, it's storytelling, brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then what? The BS was right after that too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got a fucking double whammy.
War games right into the BS title.
Beautiful.
Hey, you know what's funny is if you tell people not involved in eFeds that you put a BS title on a special needs kid, they don't think that's as funny as you do. I learned that lesson the other day. So
I bet.
Yeah,
I fucking bet.
Told that story to my boss because my boss asked me about because he knows about it. Like I've filmed promos in my office before. Like he knows what the deal is, and he's like, "Hey, how's that going?" Well, so I had a guy get an X carved in his face the other night, and I put a bullshit title on a kid with special needs, and he went, "You fucking did what now? Wait a minute, tell me all of that again in slow motion." I was like, wow, okay. So then you try to explain it, and it
just gets worse.
It
gets worse.
It's all lost in translation.
I will say that is a great defense for him lined up on this upcoming show.
Hey, man,
I don't know who that dude is,
but man, dude. That's my bro now.
That's my dude.
I might have to change my whole booking philosophy and just bring back Man Dude Montana every week.
Yeah, that'd be fucking.
I feel like there's a lot more where Man Dude Montana came from, though.
Oh yeah.
I feel like wherever we found that guy, there's more. I still need to get in touch with Rodney though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Matt wasn't wrong. There's a lot of. Oh, we're giving away inside business. Anyway,
you know what's funny though? It's funny you brought up Rodney. When I made, I'm just going breaking the barrier. I made Montana.
What?
Fuck it.
That was you the whole time?
I know. Isn't that crazy, dude?
Bro.
But when I made him, obviously I made like a face texture and shit and did all the crazy morphing shit and whatnot. Make a guess whose face I used.
Wait, did you use Rodney's?
No.
Was that Anthony Green, by the way? He's not an E-Fed guy, but like, if Applin watches this, he's gonna love that reference. Because there's an indie guy that I swore to God was the inspiration for Man Dude Montana.
I'm gonna tell you what, honestly, there really wasn't an inspiration. It just happened. Literally, I kid you not. What happened was, okay, what happened when you got in the chat the other day, or when not the other day, when the whole idea for doing the title came up and said, all right, one of y'all needs to come up with the dumbest name for a title. Well, my brain wasn't working, so I just decided to start like googling shit and see where I end up. And occasionally you'll see these like little trends on Facebook where it's like your birth month and your name is this thing. Well, one of those popped up, but it was a Southpaw Regional Wrestling name thing.
I miss Southpaw Regional so much.
Me too. It was amazing. But
I love when they're willing to just be like, hey, this is the goofiest fucking thing we can do. But watch us all be goofy. Like,
yeah, it's fun. But I said, okay, I'm gonna come back to this just in case. I just for some reason knew I'm gonna need this. So I saved it and then went back on my search and scrolled a few like threads trying to get some ideas. A couple things came to mind to kind of form what eventually became it. But then I went back to the Southpaw thing, and then I kid you not, I think the top two names up there, Man Dude, Montana. And those were the first two things I saw when I looked at it. And then I just said it out loud. And I'm like, fuck. That's the one.
That's the one.
So then I thought first, okay, is this going to be a character I try to physically portray? I don't really think I can pull that off. That's a little much.
Yeah.
I'm glad you agree.
Well, no,
it's a little
man,
much for me.
It's just it would have been, yeah. The way you did it,
I don't think
I'm gonna put it to you this way though. The reason that the BS title even came up was because I had showed my boss Man Dude Montana.
No shit. I love it.
And he was like, that's fucking creative as shit, bro. I love that. It's funny because as much as he makes fun of E-Feds, he's actually in EWN. Like he's
really?
He's like, I'm not saying I watched anything, but like to this day,
love it.
When Happy and Huck came up here to visit, what was that? That was 2021 too, right? Yeah, they're actually coming back anyway. When they came up here to visit, Happy came to my job when they first got into town, and my boss was like, "Isn't that guy that cut that one promo that you showed me?" Because I don't know if you've ever seen Happy's promo. It was a fatal four-way with him, Jason, Bubba, and somebody else for the E-Fed World title.
I remember that was one thing. I was never around because Happy was pretty much XWE only, right? For the most part.
Yeah, but
at least when I was around.
Yeah,
but
it was
I know that was
EWN.
okay. But yeah. I remember that was one of the things about old Gary was he like showed me some of the people that weren't in IW, like a little bit of Bubba, Happy, Huck. Like he kind of clued me in on who a lot of these people were. So he showed me some happy stuff, and I feel like that kind of rings a bell. I might have seen that a long time ago.
He cut this promo about his brother, and like his brother had a drug problem and had overdosed on, I think it was Mother's Day.
Oh shit!
And to this day, and I say this with no disrespect to anybody else that's ever cut a promo, it's the best promo I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's when people go, "What's the one promo you know you can watch and you're going to love it every time?" That's my one.
Because maybe this was something different. I'm thinking of then.
I'll hunt it down. Like I said, it should. I think it's still on EWN, but yeah, it was a 4-way, and Jason went out and cuts a fucking Jason Sanders banger, right? And you're like,
what? That's a guy we brought up earlier. Who's the one guy that you're booked with that you look and you go, oh fuck, he's that for me.
He's the one.
Whenever I look at it, and whenever, like if I ever see his name next to mine, I'm like, the next few days are really gonna tell the tale.
Yeah.
It's like if he's on, I'm fucked. If he's not, I might be fine.
Yeah, he's the one that I go, well, I know without even talking to him, because me and him are so kind of on the same wavelength. One of us can start a story and the other one will fucking go with it, and we don't even have to talk about it. We just know like what's going to feed into the next person, what's going to feed into the next promo, and we're going to fucking tear it up every time. Like I never have to worry about what the fuck is going to happen. Like Huck, I never know what the fuck I'm going to get. And I know,
can believe that.
I know it's going to be fun. I know I'm going to get to fucking something insane is going to happen. So we're going to go out there and tear it the fuck up. But I never know what the fuck I'm going to get with him. And that's part of the fun of facing him, though, is like, you never know what the fuck you're going to get.
Yeah,
Jason, I know
he's out there.
We're going to do storytelling. He is, but he's out there in like the craziest ways, like in like good ways. Like sometimes he'll do some shit and you're like, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this? But okay, let's go with
I
it.
remember,
Let's see where the story goes. Like when he dropped the 19-minute promo leading into the rain thing, it pissed me off at first. And me and him have talked about it, so I don't care to talk about it now. It pissed me off at first, but then I was like, all right, but now you've opened a whole door to a whole nother story that I didn't even think about beforehand. Like I was like, okay, well, me and Rain are going to do this thing that we and Rain had talked about, like we're going to do the whole Rain is my corporate chosen champion. And that was what we'd already decided. But I'm like, okay, but what after that? Like I know where everything's going in October, but what's going to be the mid-range? And when he did it, I was like, okay, now I know where I can go in the middle. Like I didn't have this plan, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll find that promo when we get done here and tag you in it, because it's just like you're sitting there and you're like, what the fuck is he talking about right now? And then when you see the turn, like the moment where it snaps, you're like, oh my God. Like
there's always been whenever I have seen one of Happy's stuff, I'm like, there's always just something so mesmerizing because it's like one of not one of the first ones. One of the first ones I've seen in a while recently. It was which is convenient because that he just recently did that little cameo with the guitar.
And he's legitimately that talented. That wasn't a one-off.
Yeah.
When he hung out up
well,
here,
no, I'm getting there. There was one that it like I guess popped up. I think Huck might have been going through fucking old footage or something and was like just commenting on shit.
Yeah.
And this one came up where it's like they had this whole like curtain set up and he's coming out with the guitar singing Bray Wyatt song and shit. And the whole I watched the whole fucking thing and I'm like, bro, this is some wild shit. This is why what is on. I was talking to Fox about this the other day. something that is on my EFED bucket list is to do shit in person with someone. Because, man, that just changes the game.
Uh-huh.
Like it's one thing, the way we're used to, where it's like, we can't do shit physically. Most of the time people are on the other sides of the country, if not sometimes other sides of the world.
Yeah.
You're not going to get this sort of opportunity to really get physical. But when that rare moment that it happens, it just changes everything.
Dude, I mean, to this day, one of my favorite things I've ever done in EFEDs was that promo in front of the hotel that Huck and Happy were staying at, where me and him are in the parking lot arguing, and he goes to throw the kick, and I hit him with the forearm. Like,
yeah.
Because people came out of their hotels like, are people fighting in the parking lot right now?
I love it.
We're like, no, it's for this weird thing that we do. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're all still friends here.
I know we kind of talked about it because until recent work events started fucking with my life, I was planning on taking a little trip in the next month or so down south side.
Strange.
Little road trip.
Little roadski.
If you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, look, I think we've already talked. I'm heading.
Well,
July's going to be here soon, Bubba.
Yeah. I'll bite my tongue on what I was about to say there. I'm still employed.
Yes. Yeah.
But
for today.
Yeah, at least for a little while longer. You never know. But we had sort of been talking, and I was like, we just started brainstorming them about like what, say, we would do in those scenarios. Like if we just so happened to be somewhere doing something at the time, which I know we're both in Heresy. We're both in Madhouse, which is it's Gage and Brooke and Zelzabar's joint, and David Blake.
Which is so weird.
Like we're both there.
I hope he's forgiven me because I can never call him that.
What?
I can never call David Blake. He's Blake Buchanan. I'm sorry. Like I had my first ever match against that guy.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I've said it.
How long has he been around for? Like shit.
He was established in SPW. Like he was an established guy there when I started.
Because I didn't really start getting familiar with him until like the last year or two. Like I had never seen him until like the last.
One of those guys that's he's just always been around. Like he takes his breaks and he does his thing. But he's dependable, which I love. Like I never have to worry about if he's going to show up or not. Even if he's going to be late, he's going to fucking tell me he's going to be late. But like I said, like he's got to have been doing this at least. I mean, if I've been doing it 8 years, he's got to be 9 at least.
Yeah.
Because he was the guy that when I started in SPW, Joey was like, hey, I'm going to put you against like one of our main guys for your first match. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know what that means, but sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And my first gimmick was a fucking hipster who had money. And Joey was like, this is dumb. Stop doing that. He's like, I've seen your actual fucking real life promos. Please stop doing this. And I was like, oh, okay.
Like, whatever you're doing, it's not it.
Yeah, he's like, you just talk shit. That's what I want you to do. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll talk shit.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, dude, there's something about an in-person promo. There's something about, especially like the shit like me and this one have done. And it's just something about having somebody to play off. It's just, it's so nice. And there's way less.
It's like you can kind of sort of break that immersion with like, like green screen tricks, but not really. Like, two people are on the same screen looking like they're in the same place, but they're really not.
I would rather do, if I'm going to do something and not be in the same place at the same time, but do like a promo where we're together, I would rather do something on a StreamYard.
Yeah.
And put backgrounds behind us like we're in separate locker rooms.
Yeah, like
me and Matthew Hayden did that in Underground. Because I was leaving Underground and we were going to do like the War Games match, which was the Four Horsemen versus Hayden's army. And we did the contract signing, and we just got on StreamYard, put fucking locker room backgrounds behind us. And then we did.
Oh, nice.
We did. Management won't let us be in the same room, so we'll do the contract signing like this, and it worked. It was great. But then I've tried to do. I think David wanted us to do a green screen promo. Me and Tommy, like Prestige Worldwide, are going to promo together, and you got to edit it just perfectly, where one person doesn't look way bigger than the other because you're standing at different points away from the camera.
Yeah.
You have to time out everything just right.
Like the stuff that I was doing, the stuff that we were doing in fucking New Divine was complicated enough. We didn't have green screen.
Yeah.
At least not. Yeah, I was the first one of the bunch to have green screen. Dylan still won't commit. He still won't do it.
This is my thing with green screen. If you're not doing it well,
yeah.
Don't
even get me fucking started.
So this is the other thing, though. So like me and Chad I'm not going to say we were the first to do it, but we were the first to do it decently. Chad was really fucking good at it.
He really was.
So like we were the first ones to really do it on a decent level. And then I think I said this somewhere else the other day, but like once it became, I said it to Bison because we were talking about my match at Cerberus. Once it became everybody was doing it, that's when I stopped. Because now it's not special anymore. It was special when it was just 4 or 5 of us. Yeah. And it was like, oh, these motherfuckers are always doing some crazy shit with it. But now anybody and everybody's doing it. And I mean, I could. I've got. I told Tyler the other night because Tyler was like, I don't even have my green screen anymore. And I was like, well, I got fucking 3 of them. I'll send you one. I don't care. And I can go out and hang one back up, and I can do it again. But like now,
that's why I'm like kind of gonna start trying to start the process of breaking away from it because
if you make your surroundings either part of your character, or completely unimportant, and everybody's just focused on you, well, fuck, that's better. Like at this point, I'm so associated with the towel bar, it wouldn't even feel right to not do a promo in front of the towel bar anymore.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I go out of that comfort zone, like if I go to my brother's house because he lives out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and I go promo in the fucking shed, it's like, holy shit. This is like, something fucking different. Like if I have the towel bar and I have my office. And I use the office for fucking management promos, and I use the towel bar for everything else.
Yeah. It's like, what I started doing on this recent exit, this little corner over here, and the picture on the wall.
Exactly.
That's I'm tranquilizing. I'm trying to break away from going so fucking over the top because I can get very ambitious with that little fucking thing over there.
Oh, dude. I mean, when it got to the point that people were building divisions, I mean, it was a terrible idea, but how good your green screen work is.
Yeah.
When it becomes part of judging how good your green screen work is, I'm like, that rather defeats the point in my world.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of this is we're supposed to be cutting promos, building a fight.
Yeah. It has become very aesthetic.
Like exactly. That's what I That's why my judge, like if I ever was to a judge division, I don't care about how your promo looks.
You just
Like
care
when
about
we
how
had
it sounds.
when we had the 120 title, that was always my thing. Like when we did the 120 title in the underground, it was you have 2 minutes. Sell me on your
Make
match.
it count.
Yeah, because like if we were doing a real wrestling company and we were on TV, that's what they're going to give you. There ain't going to be no 13-minute fucking promo.
No.
You get 2 minutes. I need to know where your match is, when your match is, who you're facing, and why you're going to fuck them up. And like, I know my promos are 6 or 7 minutes, you know, whatever. But that's always shit I hit. You know what I mean? Like, that's always in there. Like, why am I about to fuck you up?
I've been like sort of semi halfway beating myself up over because in Heresy, I just dropped like 2 back-to-back 7-minute fucking promos, and I'm like, bro, I really hope people have the fucking attention span to listen to this shit.
You know,
because it's I'm doing on this upcoming. Well, it'll have already it'll have already happened by the time this goes up, but this upcoming Heresy card, I got the main event with Jack Harvey, who was a part of that whole Age of Umbra thing in HSW with me and Mason.
Yeah.
He was kind of he was brought in as Mason's protege. And
I wish you hadn't said that because I'm literally about to do the same thing.
Anyway. That was kind of because Harvey had come in and it was almost like a story like in Lucha Underground with Pentagon and Vampiro.
Right.
Like Jack is talking to his master, his evil one below all, I think he was calling him and shit. And that ended up being Mason. Well, since the story never came close to conclusion, we're kind of rewriting the ending.
That's how you can do sometimes. Like I think that's always my thing with booking. Like if you've got a history, fucking use it.
Yeah.
You know, like I hate these groups. Like, and I've been in groups before where they're like, "Oh, well, that's not part of our lore, so don't bring it up."
Oh yeah, I hate that.
Like, you know, but if I've got, like, God forbid, like somebody books me versus Joey and tells me we're not allowed to talk about history, you know, or like me and Tyler, or you know, I mean, Chad doesn't compete anymore, but like me and Chad, because Chad was like my first big feud after SPW. Like, no, that's the whole story. Like, I'm me and Casey Moran, like in Cerberus. If we had to do that match, and you know, obviously Lee and fucking everybody was like, yes, no, that's exactly the story to tell. But if they had said, well, no, we don't want you to talk about Agon, that would have been, I'm not going to say boring because it would have been good because Casey's good and I think I'm pretty decent. But like, it would have been a good match. But fuck, the story that we told with 3 years of fucking waiting for a rematch was right fucking there. Like, you had to do it that way. Or else it wouldn't have been as special. Like, it felt like when I watched both of those promos, it felt like something special was happening on that show. And yeah, man, fucking always, if you've got a story to tell, fucking tell it. Like, tell it how you need to tell it.
Absolutely. Like, because my thing right now for sort of the next set of months, I'm kind of mapping myself out between, let's see, about the next 5-6 months. I'm going like rampant and tying up loose ends, unfinished stories, because when it comes around to October time, I'm gonna be kind of settling into place. if you
Right,
will.
right. And
Like a
and
lot
that's
of
the thing now
stuff is
too. Like,
I was kind of playing around with if I even wanted to properly announce this particular detail or not of what I'm really doing, but I'm losing track of who all I've already said it to, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. By October, I'm going to feel bad for all three of you Tyrion Moon fans because he's going to be dead.
I feel like a lot of people are doing that now. Like finding a way to just, get, not dead weight. That's not what I'm trying to say, but just all the excess.
Yeah.
Where you
I
can focus on
I
one.
will gladly say that Tyrion Moon is very much dead weight.
We love Tyrion Moon.
I don't.
Is
Like
Tyrion Moon your Joe Justice? Where everybody else loves it when you do it, but you're like, God,
I think
do I
so.
have to? Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Because
I can't
the one
do
thing
Joe
I do
Justice.
like about Tyrion is that I can get away with fuck ups.
Right.
Because I just don't care. Like I remember one time I was filming a promo for like the one Fed that'll actually book him. You don't
I'll
here's
I'll
the
feel
thing.
bad. I want you to have as much time to be TJ Blair as you can. I don't want you to be like, oh, and I have to worry about this.
No, it's funny because whenever I was really behind the character for a while, I was like, I would always kind of give people the option because whenever I first started doing Tyrion, I got the vibe at the time, shit, people like this more than they ever fucking liked Blair.
Yes. I know that feeling.
So like then I'm like, okay, so I'll just whenever I started like kind of getting back into shit, I'm like, okay, I'll give people the option on who they want, and then I'd give like a piece of work from each character, and Tyrion would never get picked. And I'm like, wait, when did the mood change?
I think it's weird when you have like multiple characters. Like when I had Nick and Joe going pretty simultaneously, people, good bookers, can tell which one you feel more comfortable with. You know, like which one is your wheelhouse. Like Joe is really funny to do as a side character. He's really funny to bring in. Hey, I need a lawyer for this particular storyline. You know what I mean? Like if somebody hits me up and asks for Joe specifically for a reason, I'm down to do it. But when I had Joe Justice going as like a regular character, winning titles and hosting results and all this other shit, I got so sick of doing that voice. I got so sick of being that character because I'm like, this isn't what I like doing. But then everybody would ask for it, especially when it was you.
Oh man, like the Tyrion stuff has gotten like, you know, got to put on like that fucking uncomfortable ass mask and then the mask over the mask because I double up. Got the fucking Hollywood Undead mask and then the butterfly mask over top of it. I've got that fucking tight ass jacket. And I still gotta try to like move around and shit and be all flamboyant, and it's fucking it's like it's too fucking extra.
Dude, it's a lot.
So
man. Like I remember like when they had me doing Isaiah Scariot next WE for a little while. Dude, it's the worst. It's the worst, especially promoting a mask is terrible. Like
that's my biggest problem is like you can't hardly understand what I'm saying in that mask.
Yeah, luckily that one has a mouth hole, so I didn't have that problem. But like so much of my story is told with eye contact. Like that focus,
you don't
I'm
have
fucking
that.
staring. You have none of that. You have
I think
people can only go.
I think the problem I ran into and probably why people like kind of fell off the Tyrion wagon is because the character kind of transformed from when it first started. Because if you remember, I just had like the bathrobe with the hood, and it was just the undead mask and the umbrella and shit. and it's none of that anymore. Now he's like a fucking director, movie maker or something. It's completely changed, and now it's less creepy and more boastful.
It's weird.
One of my favorite, I will say, like kind of the Moreau version of the character in HSW is probably the most interesting stuff. I specifically, everyone remembers the fucking pink lemonade spot.
Yeah.
Fucking, I should have got a fucking straw. And just have to reach in and lick the lemonade because I couldn't, the mask was obscuring my mouth. I couldn't fit the glass towards my mouth to drink it. So then, like, and I didn't think to test that before I shot the promo. I went and poured the glass thinking, I can drink this. Sat it down, started recording, then go for it. And it's like,
yeah.
So then I just go, should have got a fucking straw.
Dude, it's always funny when you do
and then at the end of the promo, I just break out into this very like odd fucking musical number. You start singing.
Dude, I don't smoke, but I remember I tried to cut a promo, like, because Ness always smoked in his promos.
Yeah.
And I would try. I was like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna smoke a cigarette in my promo, right? And I would smoke when I'm drinking, and that was even years ago when that happened. So I light the fucking cigarette up, and I was like, I'm just gonna puff on it. No, I fucking hit this thing, and I was like, oh god, that was the worst fucking decision. I think it took like 4 takes before I actually got it right and didn't try to kill myself in the process.
Oh man,
it's just you got to plan for certain things and know that you're ready for them.
Yeah, but like it birthed the greatest, because like then the pink lemonade became part of the bit. It just became part of the character, and now, well, not so much anymore, but at least at the time, you would expect to see a wine glass of pink lemonade with a little blue straw in it. That it just became the standard, and then it changed, and now I don't like him anymore.
Yeah,
maybe I'll try to dumb him down and try to revert him back to his roots again. Maybe that'll salvage it. I don't know.
Yeah, or just like I said, just use it for like special spots. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
when it
that's
fits,
kind of what I'm thinking.
Like,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Bring
like,
Joe back one more time.
Yeah, like that's mostly what I'm thinking. I can kind of like later dive into this like ultimate way that I'm sort of ending the character's main run. I'm not going to say it here, obviously, but it's wild.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a lot of fun. But I don't know.
This is the first time in a long time where I've been truly excited about things that are going to happen in the future.
Yeah, like I'm just like
not feel like last year at XWE, it felt like we rushed so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that was what I said when I took over. Like, and why we only do pay-per-views every 3 months.
Yeah, I think I remember. I think I remember you saying that whenever the Eternal announcement came.
Last year we did so many stories that we wanted to tie up so many loose ends, because last year's Devil's Night could have been the end. Like, and until it kind of became like, well, I still want to run something, and I already have this, and I got Huck's blessing, so I'm going to do Eternal. But like last year's Devil's Night tied up a bunch of storylines, but we had to rush every fucking spot to get there. Like, we had to finish one storyline so we could get to the next storyline so we could get to the last storyline.
Yeah.
Because then when it became like, I'm going to start running Eternal, then I had to go, well, now I have to have certain pieces in place for January. Like, certain things that happened in Devil's Night had to happen just so Eternal would make sense when I started it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the one thing that we knew from the beginning was that Reign was going to win the world title at Devil's Night. Like that had been decided probably the Devil's Night before. Like, we're going to tell this story where Reign can never get a title shot. So when Reign finally gets the title shot, because Reign has been the top guy for so fucking long, he's got to win it, right? We're not going to Cody Rhodes this shit where everybody's like, well, this is this guy's moment. Here he comes. He's going to be a world champion. Nope. Oh, nope. Sorry, buddy. And so then we had to do, yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to throw a rubber chicken in the ring at Reign after the fucking
like, yeah.
But so, yeah, and now, you know, like this year's Devil's Night, I have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. We know, you know, but even that started one way, and then plans changed, and I think it's going to go away. That's going to be really fucking cool at the end. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And you know, I had one plan at the beginning, and even that is going to turn into something that's going to be really badass at the end, even though it's different from what I planned in the original. So I think
the beauty. And
then I've got other people that, you know, we started telling a story at the last Devil's Night that's going to pay off in 2 more Devil's Nights. You know, like,
yeah, it's like
I know we said this earlier. Like, I don't know if we were recording then, but like, fuck, dude, I got 3 matches booked for Devil's Night 24 right now.
Yeah.
You know, because that's where my brain goes. Like, let me go with where's my fucking end game, and I'm going to book backwards. Well, originally it was let me book Devil's Night 22 back. Now it's booking Devil's Night 23 back, and then after conversations I've had this week, well, now I'm booking Devil's Night 24, and I'm figuring out how to get there from here.
Yeah, man, just I do like this is. It almost feels like a fucking Renaissance period to me. It's like shit has never felt this interesting in a long time for me.
Close as it's felt. You know, I know me and Matt say this is a bad thing sometimes. This is the closest E-Feds have felt to 2017, 2018 to me in a long time. Like, because that was, I mean, I'm not going to say it was cool, because this is not an inherently cool hobby to have.
No.
But it was really fun back then. And there was a lot of shit happening in a lot of different places, and it was different everywhere. Like, I mean, and even right now, you've got IW, you've got Heresy, you've got Blood Legion, you've got XWE, you've got Cerberus, and they're all doing different things, and a lot of shit that's really cool is happening in all of those places, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels like the old days. And then there was that 2019, 2020 period where it was IW, XWE, and nothing else. Because IW owned everything. You know?
Yeah, IW is on top of the fucking world, and
I think, how do I want to put what I'm saying where it doesn't sound like I'm shitting on anybody? I think the Exodus was the best thing to happen for IW and the community as a whole.
I absolutely agree.
Because I think it improved the community as a whole for obvious reasons. Because it gave people more places to play, more places jumped up. But I think it also helped IW, because IW's product, it was the same 20, 25 people in 8 different feds, having different versions of the same match. Nobody was booking anything different from IW Presents Alpha to IW Presents PWA to IW Presents Underground, you know, to, you know, Roy Cease's bullshit fed, to when they took over WKP, all that shit. Like, it was all kind of the same people in every place, just doing the same storylines except on different shows, and everybody was getting fucking tired. I never saw as much fatigue from fucking E-Fedders as I saw then. Because especially if you were an IW guy, you were promoting in 5 different places.
Yeah.
Which everybody pretty much was, because there wasn't anywhere decent to compete unless you were in IW.
Yeah.
Except for XWE, obviously.
Yeah, XWE was like, it was kind of like the only other thing going.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But then, you know, the Exodus happened, and now IW has their little core roster. I'm not gonna say little because they probably still got 50 people like we got, 60
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Enough where they had to bring on another show, so good for them.
Yeah.
But they've got their core roster, and they're doing good work there. I feel like XWE's doing some killer shit. Blood Legion, Cerberus, everywhere is fucking fun right now.
Oh yeah. And it's like that's why I think that's why I've ended up getting involved in so much this year, is just because there's so much interesting stuff going on that you feel just no matter how intense it may be to try to keep up with so much, it's just so tempting. Because that's me, like I'm like in 5 or 6 different fucking spots right now, and each and every one of them have something insanely interesting that I don't want to pass up on.
Dude, I mean, like I've got my story that I'm doing in XWE with the system, and then just the overarching running of that place day to day. I've got Cerberus, which gives me my fucking comp itch that I've had for years. That Agon like fixed, but then Agon died, and then there was nowhere to do comp that was worth a shit.
Yeah.
You put Iron Bison's name on something, and it's gonna fucking go. So
Yeah.
here we are.
It's basically kind of.
And then even I'm gonna say this, and I know some people don't like this because they don't like the fucking place. IW is fun right now. There's stuff that's annoying, like you're always gonna get with IW, and I can say that publicly, and I'll probably get heat from David for it. But there's certain things that are.
I've made it part of my gimmick, so I can get away with it.
I think everybody knows what's coming. It's not like it's fucking not right there in front of your face. That's exactly what I'm going to do too. But like, it's one of those things that, like, yeah, you have those problems in IW, but goddamn, that roster is hot. Like, there's some people there that are really good that don't compete anywhere else. I know Rocky catches a ton of shit because he's David's fucking top guy. He didn't just get that spot because he can get you Jake Roberts.
Yeah, and
he
I
does
will
shit
say,
nobody else can do. Like it's a fact.
Yeah,
like his production value is wild because he has the team to do it, but he cares. Like he
doesn't have to do this shit.
That dude's got fucking money. He does fucking movies. Like everybody thinks that's just a gimmick. No, that's fucking legit. He runs fucking FSW like a real fucking wrestling company.
Yeah, he does not need this shit, but he doesn't.
He does this to his wife tells him to stop. She doesn't like him doing it. She's like, you have so much else on your plate. You can get rid of your little game that you play. But he loves it, so he keeps doing it.
And I will say, like, the last, I guess, few months I've been re-exposed to him. I think I've enjoyed, like, his more recent stuff, like, more than just, like, kind of anything in general. Like, I guess because I hadn't really heard much tale of him since I had separated from IW with the whole Exodus thing. So I don't know if it was just kind of, okay, it's kind of the whole, how can I miss you if you don't go away thing.
Right.
Being exposed to him so often because he's a fucking workhorse.
Yeah.
Posting like 20 videos a day. A day.
Yeah.
I think I think another chunk of the Rocky hate comes from probably fatigue.
Yeah.
Because he just does so much. You're always seeing him, and he's like, and sometimes you're just like, fuck, go away for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. But he never half-asses anything.
No. And that's where you can kind of let that go, because it's like, it's not that he's out there like doing a fucking trash bagger thing.
No, I mean, if he was cutting fucking, I'm not gonna name names, but if he was doing 20 shitty promos a week, you'd be like, go the fuck away.
Yeah.
And the people that really want him to go away are the ones that can't fucking hang with him. The people that really get mad at Rocky for the things for being Rocky T can't fucking hang with Rocky. Like they don't put in the work that he does, and they, you know. And I know it seems like I'm kissing his ass over the program with him, but still,
Hey, y'all are all
he's-
buddy now.
You know the funny part though. Even after I left, he would still hit me up every couple months
Uh-huh.
just to check in, just to be like, "Hey, you still good?" You know, like I was supposed to do something there last year that fucking fell apart. That was going to lead to me and Rocky and another couple of things that were supposed to happen. But you know, you go in, you change the name of IW to XWE, and they get real grumpy about it.
I can't imagine why.
I don't know. It's not like they've never done it to places, but anyway. I've said this all to David, so it's all good. But no, I'm gonna tell you the funniest part of that. Because fuck it, I've already said enough that if I haven't gotten heat yet, it can't happen now. You know, I changed the name of the group and it got heat, and David was mad about it. And I was like, you didn't let the fucking story play out. What did I say before? I'm always about the long burn. I will slow burn an angle for a fucking year. I don't care. Because when the payoff happens, it's fucking glorious. And he was like, well, you know, you went in there and you took advantage of the group. I was like, David, do you not remember what we did to Jack Arson? Where we took this whole fucking group down in 20 minutes? If I was really going to fuck your group up, do you not know that I have the capability to remove it? If you made me an admin, I could have removed everybody from the group while we were sitting there in that stream yard. But I didn't. I just wanted to tell a story.
Yeah.
Well, it paid off. I'm back.
Yeah, we're all good. We're all cohesive.
Look, man,
For the most part.
They brought me, you, Tommy Dyer, the Goddess, Casey Campbell, and Casey Moran back in a 2-week span.
Yeah.
I think everything's
Well,
okay now.
I like to think I spearheaded that revolution
Yes, I'll
because
let you have that.
I went back first and then left again.
Oh man, I was like, what do you mean TJ Blair's back? I just had the phone conversation with David the other day where he was telling me how TJ quit. Now he's there. The fuck? Well, now I gotta go.
Yeah. It was so weird how all that happened. Like I wasn't planning on even going back. I'll be perfectly honest. It just kind of happened.
Yeah,
I'll just be I had messaged David because, you know, when I had left, he had nothing to do with it. Like absolutely zero.
yeah.
It was all another party. So I want to be like, look, I know I fucking cut your ass off too, but just wanted to let you know, like, this ain't your fucking cross to bear if you ever thought it was. I know it keeps you up at night.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Toss and turn at night about
You know,
how he let this one go.
David's not a bad. I say this on every podcast I do, and I'll continue to say it. I don't think David's a bad guy. I just think David and I, all our issues have always been we look at wrestling very differently. And thus, we look at EFED very differently. And it causes fucking problems. Plus, he never made me world champion. So, you know, I'm a little salty.
I can say the same.
Yep.
Although it was probably going to happen, but you know.
Oh, mine was gonna happen too, but
yeah.
I just had to go.
What matters is
again.
what matters is not that it was supposed to happen. What matters is that it didn't happen.
Exactly. It's not like I went out and bought an IW world title or something. No way. Anyway.
So this is one I've been kind of sitting on this one this whole time because I always wondered how I ended up in this clique with all you guys. Like,
You mean the one on your shirt, or just being in her circle now? Because that one just kind of happened.
I guess kind of, everything, like sort of, the bringing into the whole filth thing and all that, like sort of like, when the fuck did I hit the fucking radar?
I mean, I think it was me and Casey mostly, because TJ doesn't watch a whole lot of shit. Like, he knew
Really?
you, he knew of you, and he was like, "Yeah, that kid's cool. I'm good with him."
I remember. I actually, funny enough, I remember one of the first times I actually had an interaction with him. This was before this was that 2018 summer, before one of Arson's various meltdowns. And he had this group chat with him. You might have been in there. Zach was in there. And Vegas was in there. And then he added me in there. And Vegas, first thing Vegas goes is, "Oh God, not another fucking TJ."
Yeah, that happens. Well, when fucking Tommy Ford was TJ Carson, we thought it was the funniest shit that we had you, Vegas, and TJ Carson all in filth at one point.
Fuck.
Nobody really remembers that TJ Carson was in filth either, by the way, which I think is hilarious.
I do.
Yeah. Well, because
I remember.
So I think we were like, we didn't want to be the NWO, but by the same token, we wanted to have a presence on every show.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, who the fuck fits the fucking gimmick? And we looked at Tommy and we were like, well, he's kind of like a mini Casey, and that nobody looks at him and thinks he's fucking scary, but we could make him scary if he's with us. And then we looked at you and we were like, well, that motherfucker's just fucking scary. That's just easy. and that was the thing with filth, was we were the fucking...
because I remember kind of, because I was doing the whole like rapture thing, and that was meant to be kind of, I guess, spooky variety.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I remember specifically, one thing I remember doing that I kind of feel like sealed the deal for the more, like, I guess, unsettling. It was that WrestleCade where I dismantled the Rapture. The Saints got ousted because things, and
I think that Sebastian did what Sebastian does and turned into No Show Jones.
I think Daniel did too.
Yeah.
They both did. So
I love, so people may or may not know this. Sebastian is legitimately one of my best friends in real life. I've known that dude for 20 years. We lived together at one point. Like, I mean,
shit.
Like, that's my brother. Like, for real. Like, I love that dude. And I'll say this to his face, so I don't care to say it on a podcast. He's fucking not the most dependable cat on the planet. Like, I'm giving him a huge opportunity putting him in the system right now, and I'm just like, don't fuck me.
I gotta say, when he popped back up, I popped.
Dude, that's the thing. And he's another one that's like, when he's on,
I messaged him. And I'm like, I am so happy you're back.
Dude, there's a lot
I missed you.
It was crazy. Like, when he got my inbox and he's like, hey man, my work schedule's kind of opening up, so if you got anything for me. And me and Ryan had been talking about doing the system or whatever, and we had thrown a couple names around, but like nobody was dead on specific. And I was like, when he got my inbox, I'm like, well, why would I not if I can't trust anybody? If the real story of the system, which is going to come out eventually, but I'll give away bits and pieces, is that the people that are around me are the people I know I can trust.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Huck did the Church of Huck promo and half the roster came out and said that I'm the drizzling shits, well, now I can't trust any of those motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go get the people I know I can trust. I know Sebastian Saint, my brother, is going to have my back. I know Doomsayer is a top fucking guy. I know Troy Mason is angry that no one's ever taken him seriously, so he's willing to do whatever to be taken seriously. even if he's got to get himself affiliated with the devil himself, he's willing to sell his soul. So, there's my clique. And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
My worry is always the same with Randy, and I love him. Is he gonna just fucking disappear one day?
I hope not.
I
I've
hope not,
really
too.
enjoyed it. I
But
really enjoyed having him back.
as far
But
as you being in filth goes, we were like, that's a scary motherfucker. He's coming with us.
Yeah.
And we
So I remember another thing that had happened. Like before I imagine I was even up for consideration. Because I remember it was also that WrestleCade card that the Filth reboot sort of happened. And it was Vegas, it was you, it was Alicia, and it was Jack Arson.
That was not our idea.
I kind of figured that.
I'll tell you who we wanted and who was totally down for it. And I don't know that I've ever told this story publicly.
Oh,
the original idea was it was going to be JD Drake.
Oh,
that was the original plan. That was who we pitched. Was we want me, Joey, Leisha, you, Tommy, because you and Tommy were going to be the Omega version, and JD Drake.
Oh, really? I didn't know there was any talk of me going to Omega that soon.
Yeah. Because we were like, take TJ and Tommy, let them run Omega.
The TJs, the two TJs.
Yeah, the two TJs.
2 of the 3.
Yeah, let them go down. Let them be the Omega chapter. One of us will come down every so often if they need to do a 6-man. Whichever one of the 3 of us. And then JD Drake was going to be the enforcer. Like, he was going to go full heel. I think I may have even sent him a Filth shirt.
Oh, man. That would have been a power.
Or no, I think we were talking about it, and then we pitched it to David, and David was like, I don't know, because I don't know how much time he's going to have to spend on it. And I'm like, that's even better. We bring him in when we just need a fucking mercenary. And he was like, no, I want 4 people that are going to be like definitively on every show. And I was like, and then the next name that came up was Doomsy. Because Doomsy fits the fucking aesthetic, right?
Yes, he is. He was a perfect fit.
And then he ended up being in when Jack fell off the planet. And so and then he was like, no, I don't know about Doomsy. I want to do whatever with Doomsy. And this was 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
He was hardcore champion, I think.
Yeah, and I think he wanted to just keep Doomsy there.
Yeah, and I took the hardcore title off him.
And then he was like, so what I think, and then he hit me up like a couple days later, and he was like, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to put Jack Arson with you guys.
Oh, God.
And I remember definitively me, Joey, Alicia, and Casey, because Casey, whether Casey's in Filth in like an establishment or not, Casey always gets a fucking vote on anything Filth related. We were all like, no, we don't want Jack Arson. And basically we got told, you take Jack Arson or we're not doing it.
Wow. And then he ended up doing stupid shit.
He showed up, he bayou booted whoever, and then was gone.
Yeah. He was literally there just for that WrestleCade
match. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It was just that WrestleCade spot, and then he went and did some stupid shit and got banned.
Yep. And so
they did a bunch of stupid shit actually.
But then we got to do I still hate to this day how everything went down, because I'm there, so I can't say everything. Fuck it. It's common knowledge, and Lauren probably said it too. IW doesn't know how to book women.
Yeah, she said it.
Okay, cool. IW doesn't know how to book women, much less this one. This one has two. I mean, she has a multitude of characters, but she has two that are fucking killer. She has Catty Alicia, who can go out and do, you know, a bitchy promo and sell a match.
And Luchadora.
Exactly. Occasionally she's stabby.
Yeah.
But mostly Luchadora.
Yeah.
But dude, I defy anyone outside of a few people who can do a fucking scary, spooky, whatever the fuck you want to call it, character as well as her. I mean, this is a woman that legitimately, when Killian Gavin was on his shit, Killian Gavin was willing to piss himself on camera when he Facebooked him.
I love it.
You know, because anybody who watched her promo against the Female Bully Club in XWE last week, I don't know if anybody noticed it. Go back and watch it. For 3.5 minutes, as the stabby bitch, she only blinked once in 3.5 minutes. And even then, it was because she was like rolling her eyes and they just naturally blinked. She just goes fucking dead behind the eyes. She did a promo when she came back to IW in the build up to me and Killian, which should have main evented Wrestle K, but that's neither here nor there. She did the match with Killian. And the way she flipped characters, just when I hand her the knife to show that she's going to be the stabby bitch for that match, her eyes completely change. It's just dark behind her eyes. There's nothing there. There's no soul. No one without. Okay, how am I trying to say this? There's not a whole lot of people that can do that without effects. There's a lot of people who can do spooky, and there's a lot of people who can do spooky really well and don't need effects. But it's a short list of people that can do what she does. You know?
Blink twice if she's standing off screen with a knife.
Oh, no, she's actually taking a nap.
Oh, okay. You're
She's
safe.
had to listen to me talk for the last hour and 45 minutes. I booped her snake. She's asleep. It's okay.
Oh. But
yeah. And
where
then
were we?
We were talking about you being in film.
Yeah.
And then I think, you know, that is one thing. I'm not going to give too much away. That is one thing I want to do again. I want Filth to get a good run. One last place. Yeah. And we have Joey's blessing to do it without him. So because he's only going to compete next WWE now. Yeah. And clearly with me being where I am, you being where you are, Casey doing his thing, it's not going to make a lot of sense to destroy 3 groups at once to put Filth back together in WWE, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe, maybe one day.
Yeah, who knows? It'd be really cool because that was probably, it's in my, that, even though I know everyone, like for a period, it was probably one of my most fun experiences. Because I got the whole like IWPD thing was probably one of my favorite things to do.
They were so much fun to work with.
Like, they were great. I remember like one of the things I remember was like kind of the early on. You remember that whole like written segment where like they kidnapped you and you're like in their fucking like prison shit?
Yep.
And then we just bust in like a fucking army.
Oh, dude, and Leisha fucking stabs Justin Klein.
Yeah.
Like nobody got heat on Justin Klein back then.
No.
And I will give Dan this. When he was doing it right, before they, I guess, just gave up on it.
Yeah.
Or before they pissed Leisha off, whichever one came first.
She did disappear pretty early.
Yeah. Well, some shit happened. As it tends to do. It's been a long time. I'll tell the fucking story. Basically, they wanted to make her my manager instead of a regular competitor. And I was like, do you not see what she's doing every week? Like,
Yeah.
she's outperforming me a lot of times.
Yeah.
So like,
And like personally,
Filth wasn't handled great from the beginning because people didn't know their history. So
yeah.
I got made the leader of Filth, like de facto. And I'm not the leader of Filth.
Right.
Joey is the leader of Filth. Always. It's Joey's baby. I'm not taking it over.
Yeah. And then I think at some point we were kind of able to right that ship. Because at one point it did shift, and then he kind of took that. It felt like he kind of took that spot back.
we had to go to Dan and be like, Dan,
and be like, "Yo,
I'm not the top guy. Like I'm his fucking killer. Like I'm his weapon. Like it's not the other way around. I don't sick Joey on people. He tells me where to go in Filth.
Yeah,
he's the one person. If I'm in a group, I'm willing to back seat to.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the story makes sense. But like in Filth, I will always take the back seat. Like, well, you know, we've had the conversation about everything in the future, but
I will say personally, because I remember me and Alicia, we did a tag match once with fucking Nick Petty and DeAngelis, and that was a pretty fun duo. I think.
I forgot about DeAngelis.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
he
was a dick. He's a dick.
I mean, fuck that guy for real. Like, not character. Fuck that guy. Oh, I forgot about it. Why'd you have to bring him? Now my whole day is shot.
Well,
I'm joking.
But no, I think that between me and her, I thought that was a fun duo. That was also the match where I got this bad thing.
Good times.
I think there was a lot of potential in Stabby and Slashy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just, IW, it's one of the main problems they have. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I'm not saying that I don't have the fucking women's title idea from time to time. But that's also because I like giving. I know I'm trying to keep titles to a minimum, but I also feel like there's people that aren't in title pictures that should be sometimes, and I'd rather have an extra title to give more people things to fight for. But I'm not of the camp like XWE used to be, where you need 13 fucking titles.
Right.
Because then if everybody has one, nobody has one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like at that point, it's not a championship; it's an accessory.
Exactly. Like we added the Bright and Shiny Championship, which, like, spoiler alert, is going to be in results. It's going to be like a 24/7 title. Like it's just going to be fucking fun. Like it's just going to be something. It's going to be something.
It's literally BS.
It's a
literally
BS
just
title,
BS.
Because there's going to be bullshit every fucking week.
Yeah. And it's going to be fantastic.
And look, man, and I'll say this: I'm sure there are people that are like, "Oh, they're doing another comedy gimmick with Johnny Rockstar." Because I know, people used to shit on XWE because it had the Sesame Street title that they put on Johnny, and that was fucking, it was goofy and it was gaga, but I think I'm not going to put Johnny in there with Ray Carter. You know what I'm saying? The same as I wouldn't take anybody that's not on somebody like on Rain's level in there with Rain. And Johnny fucking loves this shit. And there is no one who will fucking show up for you and do whatever the fuck you ask like Johnny.
That is true.
So why would I not, if I'm going to have something that's fun in games and he wants to have fun, not put those two things together? Yeah. Let the kid have a good time. Yeah, he's going to face Man Dude Montana or fucking Joe Justice or Chuck Chesney or whatever fucking fun thing we do.
Yeah.
But who's to say I'm not going to put him in there with a fucking name at some point and let him fucking show what he can do?
Yeah.
He is a former NWP World Heavyweight Champion.
I can't
The man
can't
beat
deny
Rich
that.
Diaz. I'm so glad I got that reference in on the show.
Oh man.
E-feds are fucking stupid. We talked about that.
Yeah, that's
This is the dumbest thing.
It's
But people are going to listen to this, TJ.
Yeah,
people are going to listen to all 2 hours of me talking about fucking E-feds.
Yeah, it is the most fascinatingly stupid thing I have ever experienced in my life.
Dude, I thought indie wrestling was fucking ridiculous, and then I found this shit, and I'm like, okay, this might be worse. But there's so many parallels between this and indie wrestling. Like anybody that's done both, like I've had this conversation with like Zachy and like Johnny Christ. I've talked to about it, and even Drake to an extent. Like it's so good. Goose, Daddy's talking to his friends. You can sing me a song when I'm done. Okay. All right, love you. That's my boy. That was Goose. Wouldn't be a podcast if I didn't get a Goose appearance.
Gotta have Goose.
But yeah, like just drama and fucking people bitching because they're not in the right. They're not in the right spot on the card, boss.
Can't have that. It's not gonna work for me, brother.
Exactly. Oh. If anybody ever comes to me with it's not going to work for me, brother. Okay. The door. Okay.
One of these days, I'm gonna fucking.
I'll say this to say that though. If you come to me with it's not going to work for me, brother, and you have a good butt behind, you have a good whatever after that butt. Okay. Yeah.
That's always my thing. It's like if you don't like how something is going, okay, then what's the alternative?
Come to me. I said this. I've said this to a lot of people because, I know I said I was going to keep a small roster at XWE, and it's grown a lot more than I planned for it to. But I have definitely gone to some new people and been like, hey, look, I want to bring you in because I think you're really fucking good. I think you can have some good matches. I don't have something in particular planned for you, though. So what do you want to do? And I can normally work with that.
Yeah.
And I think you can't be a decent booker, real wrestling or otherwise, or E-feds, you know what I'm saying? And be like, this is definitively what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, then that's too fucking bad. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
I would rather come to somebody like you and be like, hey, here's your end game. What do you want to do in the meantime?
Yeah, like
and hear you
here's this, fill in the blanks.
Exactly. Like, I mean, like, there's been a couple people that have come in lately, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do with you. And then somebody else pops up, and they're like, oh, you got that guy? Let me go do something with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Okay, yes, please.
Yeah.
Like, there's something that's going to start happening in 2 weeks that I never fucking would have thought of in a million years, and I'm dumb for not thinking of it. Okay. But when it happens, it's going to be like everybody. I'm not going to say like, oh, it's going to be the talk of E-feds, but people are going to fucking watch it.
Oh yeah.
So.
And I can kind of say something similar from the, I guess, talent perspective.
Yeah.
Of like, you can only get so far just trusting what the booker's doing and leaving it at that. No, sometimes you got to get in the mud.
Yeah.
Like,
I
coasted for a little while.
I've gotten myself in great positions, and I've gotten myself shit on. But I've always gone out and said what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather tell you what I want and not get it than sit back and be like, I'll just let whatever happen.
Yeah,
because a lot of people, you're not going to get ahead. And I say this as a booker. if you're just sitting back with your thumb up your ass and you don't ever tell me,
Expecting
hey,
something to happen.
exactly. If you don't tell me either A, hey man, I'm really happy with this, or B, hey, this isn't exactly what I'm picturing.
Yeah, you
Then
can't read our minds.
I'm gonna go with what I'm doing.
You can't read their minds.
I hate when people come to me and say, hey, I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the direction my character's going. Okay, don't leave because I like having you around. What direction do you want your character to go? Let me work with you.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I would rather work with somebody and make sure everybody's happy. Because at the end of the day, it's a fucking game.
Yeah.
What have we said for years? What did we say during the fucking Exodus? I just want to play with my friends and have a good time.
Yeah.
We're not getting paid. It's not a fucking job. We're playing fucking wrestling Dungeons and Dragons 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You know? So like, tell me what story you want to tell. And within the realm of what I can book and what doesn't affect something else I'm booking, I'll let you tell that. You want to play a fucking stupid character that I don't enjoy, but you want to do it and you want to face whoever? Okay, sure. If you think you and that person can tell a good story with you being a fucking, I don't know, alien or some shit, go be a fucking alien. I don't know. You can't be Al Ian, though. That guy's dead. He got sent back to Area 51.
Poor guy.
Oh my god, that was the best thing. Literally my favorite Ryan K character. I don't know. Richard McDoon's pretty good though.
That was pretty amusing.
I had to see Ryan's chest hair, which was offensive, but he does make the ladies McSwing. Kid's a goof.
I hear he really likes his biscuits and gravy too.
See that if this was my podcast,
Biscuits and gravy.
I'd be clicking the button right now.
I'm not that skilled yet.
Oh my god, no!
I'll throw it up. I'll throw it up in post. I'll just edit it in post.
Dude,
you know what's funny? He messaged me. Let's see. I had sent it to him first. He laughed, and then I think I sent it in the group chat.
Yeah.
And then I went to sleep. Well, when I woke up, I saw a message in the Exilium chat from Ryan, and he goes, "Why did you send that to everyone?" I'm like, I didn't send it to everyone. Just
no,
Nick.
that was me.
And he's like,
everyone.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, no, I just sent it to Nick, and he's like, yeah. And then what did you think was gonna happen?
I sent it to. Okay, hold on. I sent it to Vegas. Well, I have a group chat with Vegas and Applin. I sent it to there, and then I sent it to a group chat with. Wait, he already talked about it publicly, so it's fine. It's me, Huck, Rain, Thomas Austin, and Grant, and Tyler Thread. And I sent it to that. And I guess Huck then sent it back to Ryan again. So then Ryan was like, how many people have seen this video? And I'm like, well, at least 15 that I know of. Because I was counting the 3 group chats. And he's like, oh man. He's like, when is Huck going to put the LOD thing behind this and send it to me again? And I went, oh, you mean like this? Because I had already edited a version that had the LOD thing behind it. And I was like, oh, you mean like this? And I sent it to him. And he was like, yes, that's exactly what I was expecting. And I'm like,
I just looked because I had got on the page because I think I was going to post something. And that promo just so happened to be at like the top of the page on my phone, and it was like you could just see the top of it there, and it was frozen because you weren't on the full page yet. And it's just him with that, and I'm like, oh, I can't pass up on this. So then I just screenshotted it because I thought it was funny, but then I got to looking, and I'm like, holy shit, asbestos. Asbestos.
I'm gonna call him and be like, hey, Johnny's next title defense, I need you to be Festus.
Oh my god, yes.
Just send me the
Yes.
promo. I'll edit some bells into it, and we'll be good to go.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, for anybody thinking Johnny's losing that belt anytime soon, you just fucking forget that.
Yeah, that'll never.
That's
never
Johnny's
happen.
title.
Yeah, he is the
Johnny's gonna
forever. He is the forever bright and shiny champion.
He is the brightest, shiniest star in the XW
Yeah.
universe.
Yes, brighter and shinier than all the rest. A league of his own.
That, to say the least.
Yeah. I still love how I was just so quick to jump on being the first defense. I don't know what came over me.
I had a feeling it was going to be you.
Really?
I did. I was like, it's either going to be you or Matt.
Because we came up with it.
Exactly.
Because yeah, I think. Oh yeah, I remember. Because I was telling the story about the Man Dude Montana face texture, and then we got sidetracked earlier.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, I just now remembered that. Yeah. So when I made him, you said you thought he might have been based off this guy. I sent it to one of my other buddies, and he thought it was based off another guy, and it was neither. It was just a random thing that came into my head. And I'm working on like the base design, and I'm like, what'd be a good face to fit on this character? And I start thinking, and I start looking through, like, because I have like a gallery of face texture. I just make them out of fucking hobby at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's relaxing it gives me something to focus on. So I'm scrolling through, and then I come across this one, and I look, and I'm like, all right.
Is it really?
It's fucking McConaughey.
I love that.
If you pay attention to it, you might be able to notice. I don't know.
Well, now I'm going to go back and watch him again just so I can see it.
Yeah, so that's the story. But I'm like, I made this. I gotta do it. I gotta use it. I made it. I gotta use it.
You went big with it. I gotta give you that.
Go big or go home, brother.
That's how we do.
Yeah.
It's the only way to live life.
Yeah, for real. Let's see. What other kind of shit can we get into here? Formula be damned.
See, you have made me want to tell the story about why I don't do edibles at this point.
Oh, yeah?
Have I ever told you this story? About WrestleMania
so. No.
34? 3?
No, I haven't heard this.
What was the year? Okay, it was the year Cena was calling out Undertaker.
Yeah, that was 34.
34. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's WrestleMania 34. I'm at my brother's house, and one of our buddies comes over, and he brings a fucking giant ass gummy bear.
Oh,
so we told him it was I don't think I'd ever done edibles at that point.
Uh-huh.
And my brother's got asthma, so he can't smoke. And we were like, well, we want to get fucking high. So I was like, you bring an edible, that's your price of admission. Because everybody else had to pay to get in. Because we were like showing it on like the big projector screen out back. My brother like grilled out a whole bunch of food. So he's like, look,
it was an event.
He's like, I got to recoup some of the money I'm spending on this. So he brings the fucking gummy bear. We cut it in quarters. We all take one. And I get this motherfucker isn't working feeling.
Oh, no.
Not realizing that simultaneously I am eating everything in the fucking house.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, this motherfucker isn't working. And Ron, the guy that brought it, thank God for him, looks at me and goes, do not eat another one You will not recover. It's like, okay. All right, I'm going to trust you on this. So Cena comes out. He has the match with Elias. It goes like 30 seconds. And then Undertaker comes out. And all the lights in the arena go out. And I think we had moved inside at this point. We had to have, because Justin turned all the lights off. My brother. That was when it hit. The TV looked like it was floating.
Oh.
He gets the giggles because he convinces himself that the Undertaker is only beating John Cena's ass this badly because it's his Make-A-Wish and he has cancer. I am frozen completely. I cannot move. I am scared to move. The next match after that was Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, when Alexa did the descending entrance, like she came down on like the elevator, I was convinced that Alexa Bliss had actually become an angel.
An actual goddess.
She was an actual, descending from heaven.
Yeah.
At some point, someone brought me the whole tray of chicken fingers that had been made. I ate all of those. Yeah, it was a long night.
Wow.
And then I started feeling woozy, so I went outside. And Ron, who was a big fucking black dude, came outside and asked me if I wanted some water. I thought he said, "Do you want more marijuana?" And I tried to fight him, which, from what I was told, like a week later when we were talking about this, was basically I squared up, but like my hands were just like, and he was like, "So I just kind of pushed you and you fell on your butt, and you realized that I had said water, so you seemed pretty okay after that." So,
oh my God!
From that moment on, I have sworn off edibles because
fuck,
like they were at the last WrestleMania party, and I was like, no, because I want to remember this WrestleMania. Because mind you, after the Alexa Bliss entrance, the entire rest of that WrestleMania is a blank. I know Charlotte beat Asuka. I know AJ and Nakamura disappointed me.
Yeah,
there are no details.
I don't remember anything about that WrestleMania either. I don't think it's because of the high. I think it was just because it was a forgettable fucking WrestleMania.
It was a terrible WrestleMania.
It was awful. It was god awful. It was so bad.
It was it was not worth a damn at all.
No.
But yeah, it was.
I don't even remember what was the main event?
Roman Brock 2.
Oh,
okay. The one where it was like, okay, well, Roman's finally going to beat Brock, and then he didn't.
It was his. It was his finish the story moment.
Yes, and then they brought it back around at the next WrestleMania,
which is probably what they're going to do here.
Yeah, I everything I'm reading says that WrestleMania 40 is going to be Cody Roman too.
And
I'm like, oh, it's a year too fucking late. Exactly.
Way too fucking late.
No matter what Lauren says. Shout out the goddess. God, I wish she was a way to do that, boys.
Yeah, me too. It's actually funny, the whole like edible story with you. I had an interesting opening experience with them. So like I had tried a few different times, and for a while I couldn't find anything that worked. I'll tell you, my first experience wasn't like gummies or anything. It was bacon edible, and it was disgusting.
Sounds terrible.
It was terrible, and it didn't work.
I'm gonna get myself some heat for this one. I don't like bacon in the first place, so that sounds even worse.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah, no, I don't eat a lot of pork though. I'm not a big pork
fair. I'm not much into pork either. Like I've gotten to the point where like I can't. I didn't like bacon for a long time either, but I eventually got to where, okay, I can. Once I started this whole diet shit, I kind of had to learn to like new shit that I didn't like before, and that was one of them. But like that was the first one where it was like bacon edibles didn't work, and then I had gotten like there was like these little square gummies, and I had gotten like a green apple flavor because I'm a sucker for green apple flavor stuff. All the way. Oh yeah. And those didn't really do much for me at all. Well, then one day, my dad comes and gets me, and he's like, he's got the same brand, only it's pineapple.
Okay.
And he goes, look, dude, I'll be honest with you. I can't do these. I tried them, and before I even finished folding my laundry, I all of a sudden was like you at WrestleMania 34.
Mm-hmm.
Just gone. And he's
Yeah.
like, I can't do this shit. Here, you can have them if you want them. And I'm like, okay, I haven't found anything that works yet. Let's see what this does. And I'll tell you how badly it didn't like previous things didn't work on me. I think serving sizes normally is like maybe like a half or something of these like little, and they were like maybe like this big.
Yeah.
But it still said like maybe like half or like 3/4. I'd take 2 whole ones and be able to function the rest of the day without feeling even a light high.
Yeah.
Just go through a day. So when I got these, I thought, well, it's probably going to be the same thing. So I just popped 2 whole ones and went about my day. About, I don't know, an hour and a half later, my fucking world changed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was the first like genuine, I think, high. So I got this like cold chill down my spine. And everything just went like cold, almost like standing in a cool breeze on a summer's day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so this is what it's like. And well,
Dude, see
they're
that's
also, and then like 30 minutes later, I found out, these actually put me to sleep.
yeah.
So because I have really fucking awful insomnia.
Yeah. Dude, see,
I don't sleep. I think you've seen. I often unmedicated can sit up for like 24-hour stretches and more sometimes, and not feel bothered.
I'm always that way. Not like the first time, but like anytime I do drugs, as soon as it's like I have a bad experience with it, I like cut it off. Like I'm sure if I did edibles again, I probably wouldn't have like a freak out like I did with those.
Right.
But now
it's just kind of getting used to it.
Dude, like when I was younger, like I try anything, and I have like the lowest tolerance. Like it was horrible. Like I'd be in rooms with people like doing pills and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, see, I simultaneously have a low tolerance and a way too competitive nature. So
that's a hell of a team.
Yeah, it's worked out so well for me in my life.
Oh, I bet.
Like even when I was like young, and you'd be like hanging out with, I don't know, you probably, well, I don't know, you might have hung out with DJs like I did. Like
a few
my
times.
friends doing like course eating cough and cold and shit, and eating whole packs of that shit. And then I would try that, and like I remember another wrestling related, I got way too fucked up story. WrestleMania 21. You remember they did all like the movie trailers and shit.
Oh, dude, that was Mania 21 was my first.
Yeah. So Mania 21, I'm living with like some of my buddies. We all work together. We got a house together. And we get fucked up on triple C's. And I had done like 12 before and been like, oh, this is kind of a fun little trippy high, whatever. Ate the whole fucking pack. All 24 of those motherfuckers. Yeah. I to this day, and I know it didn't happen, but to this day, I remember distinctly Eddie Guerrero and Booker T reenacting the entire movie of Pulp Fiction
Oh my god, that would have been
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it was tremendous. And then I had to go pee at one point, and like stop motion. Like, okay,
Yeah.
that was how I was walking. Like I was watching my feet, but everything looked like I was like I would be 2 steps ahead, but still seeing the step I took 5
Oh my
seconds ago.
god.
Yeah. And so, but the moment that sobered me up, we lived kind of in the hood in Nashville, like right down by the fairgrounds, which is now like super gentrified and like $600,000 houses. But 15 years ago, 17, however many years ago now, it was still kind of the hood. And 4 fucking white dudes who all kind of look like how I look now with like crazy hair and fucking piercings and tattoos and shit lived down there. And one of my buddies, we're all out on the front porch, just like staring at the stars, fucking high as a kite. And he looks out, and our neighbors are walking through our yard, who were African American, and he thought they were life-size garden gnomes, and proceeded to scream, "You gnomes, get off our yard! We don't like your kind." I have never gone from fucking high as a kite to sober so fucking fast in my life. I had a moment of clarity. I just looked at him and looked at them, and they were coming toward the house, and I'm like, he is fucked up. Please do not. We are not with him. We don't know this motherfucker. I know he lives here. He just pays rent. I don't know him. We got him inside, and I will never forget one of my other buddies beat the absolute dog shit out of that boy. Just beat the brakes off his ass. And I think he broke a mop over his back at one point.
Oh shit.
Dude. Yeah, so obviously that was the last time that ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell stories. Some of them are still incriminating though. So.
Duly noted.
But I never banged a teenager in a bar, so at least I got that going for me.
Yeah, that's a win.
It's a big W's, boys.
Yeah.
See how we brought it full circle? Brought it back to the beginning now.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh fuck. Remember when you said you had to be done by 12?
Yeah, and now it's almost 2:00.
I have that effect.
Yeah, it just fun times.
Oh man.
Let's see.
Do you have more questions that we can go on fucking tangents off of?
Yeah, I do. We'll kind of come down here to my little fun section, which is not nearly as fun as you probably think it is. Just kind of gauging, I guess, kind of.
Oh, that's bad. Nope, not gonna drink any more of that. That's horrible now.
Oops. I accidentally unplugged my microphone.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it like just happened though. I wasn't sitting here rambling incoherently for Into the Void. So I was able to get it pretty well together. Kind of gauging, I guess, kind of in community shit, I guess. Who are some people that you find yourself watching? Like some of the people you enjoy keeping an eye on. If there is any.
I mean, okay, so obviously I'm jaded because
yeah.
I had somebody say that to me one time. They were like, why do you book all your friends as your top people? And I'm like, well, I'm friends with a bunch of really talented motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So like,
it might have something to do with it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I surround myself with really talented people because it makes me want to up my game when I see what they do.
Yeah.
So like you, Tommy, Joey, Casey Campbell, who has grown so fucking much in like a year and a half.
Oh yeah.
Like I low key watched Dylan Mason promos forever, and was always like, well, he's just the one guy I'm never going to be able to book. Because I had pitched him coming into XWE like years ago, and for reasons
He'd never.
for reasons he would never do it.
Yeah.
Him and Crimson both like were just dudes, and I was like, this just isn't going to happen for me, and that's okay. Bison is fucking ridiculous. Grant, dude, a guy who I think just because he's been around forever, so people take for granted how good he is Triple M.
Okay.
And like that's why like when the idea got pitched for me to face him at Invasion, I jumped on it so fucking fast. Because, you know, like I said, Trips has been around forever. So I don't think he, like, his people watch him, you know, like the LOD watch him. And people that have been around forever watch him. But I think a lot of newer people don't watch his shit because they're like, oh, he's just this guy and he's been around forever and he's just doing what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason he's been around forever and can do what he does is because he's fucking good at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he wouldn't keep himself in spots where a match like me and him, a guy who hasn't competed in XWE at all this season, and him, a guy who has only done one tag match leading into our match, why we got so many fucking views and you know, response off our promos. Graham is an annoying little shit. Fucking John. But he's really fucking good. And I mean, obviously, I'm going to watch everything Huck and Happy do.
Right.
One, because they're my boys, and because they're two of the most creative motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. And I want to call him AJ because he's my boy now. But Happy is just, that's how he is. He just is just a dude that draws you in. Like, even so, like, they came up here, like I said, about a year and a half ago and hung out, and we went to the bar, and like it went exactly the opposite of how I pictured it. I thought like the interactions that the EFED community has with Huck, you know, he's over the top and he's like crazy, and you're like, this guy's just gonna be the loudest motherfucker in the bar. But he was the more chill one. Like when we left the bar, he was the one like just sitting on the fucking deck, just drinking his beer and like shooting the shit, as opposed to AJ, who was like life of the fucking party.
You know, honestly, I can believe it.
Garage. Like,
I can honestly believe it. Seeing those two together, I'm like, I got a feeling Huck's probably the chill one, and
he is
over here is just the fucking like psycho.
But it's not even that. He's just, people are drawn to him. Like, he has that vibe. Like,
well, in my opinion, anyone who is a people person is a total psycho.
That's fair.
So,
I feel that. Like, I feel like if you were single, AJ would be the greatest wingman of all time. You know what I mean? Like,
that's hella praise.
God, I'm trying to think like some not super watched people that I think people should watch. But even then, I'm gonna name my friends. Like, I feel like more people should watch Sebastian Saint. I feel like more people should watch the Bogan Brute.
He is a fascinating figure. I haven't really been too exposed to him until recently, but like I've heard a little snippet of him, and I heard that accent, and I'm like, maybe I need to sit down and check this out sometime.
He is. How do you properly explain Trev to people? Trev is another one where you just get his real personality. He is legitimately that loud and that intense. He's also fucking hilarious. Like,
there's just something
if
about,
you want to have a good laugh, if you haven't watched it, go watch his last Invasion promo, where he did the impersonations of all his opponents.
Oh God,
because they're not good impersonations. They're terrible at best. but they're so fucking funny and like let me pick one part of your personality and make it your entire personality, and that's how I'm going to impersonate you.
I love it.
And it was the funniest shit. Like he put a rainbow wig for Sherry, and like did the worst Southern accent of all time. He
Oh my
just
God.
made fucking Randy out to be a fucking emo kid, which he is. For some reason, Casey Moran was just fat. Like I don't even know. It was great though. Like it just cracked me up. Like, God, I miss Beezy too.
Oh yeah,
Beezy
he's
is
an interesting one.
because Beezy has a quiet intensity to his promos. Like it's not how he says it; it's what he says. We're like, I know this a little motherfucker. I bet this little motherfucker would throw hands. You know what I mean?
Probably, yeah.
Like, and just like he's so good with the wordplay too. Like I will watch somebody with good wordplay. Even like I don't care if, like we talked about earlier with aesthetics. Like Beezy can do all the fucking fancy shit. It looks awesome. But I would listen to Beezy just fucking talk. There's another guy that if I could ever get him to come back would kill it if he was fucking dependable. And he was the first guy that really made me fall in love with this shit. Was Simon Spores.
Oh yeah.
Simon Spores, I used to say, was a British version of old school indie John Moxley.
You know, I can feel that.
Like if you've ever seen the John Moxley promo from before he got signed, where he was just, or I think he said something to the effect of like, I'm just a fucked up guy who does fucked up shit.
I'm just a sick guy. And he's got the interviewer by her fucking
he's got her in the fucking headlock and he's got the fork and he's still covered in blood. Like he didn't clean up in that. That was how Simon Spores was for me. When I first started in SPW, like he would cut these promos and you're like, this motherfucker's a little twisted. Yes, give me this. Like I remember distinctly, like when I had kind of like, I wasn't like established SPW, but they knew I wasn't going anywhere. And Vegas was like, "Hey, is there anybody that you think would be cool to work with?" That was the first name I said. I was like, "Luke Alexander's fucking great. He's fun. I'm sure me and him will do good shit," and we did. But I was like, Simon Spores is the one. Like when we redid Filth and IW, we brought in Spores for a little while.
Yeah,
and
I remember that because
another non-dependable guy.
Yeah, because I remember, I think his first match back was with me, and we treated it as almost like the idea was it was supposed to be a test.
Yeah.
And then things went the way they went.
Yeah, and then we brought him back, and he was so unreliable that Jones was like, "You're going to kick him out, and then you're going to face him next week. And I just want you to ruin him." And I was like, I don't want to ruin my friend, but he's pissed me off, so okay.
And then he kind of had a bit of a hot streak when High Society started up.
Yeah, High Society loved him.
Yeah, like he showed out.
It's so weird to me because High Society, for as much talent as was there and as much fun shit as I did there, seems like such a blip on the radar at this point.
Yeah.
Like so much stuff has happened before and after that. Like it had so much potential, but it's what happens. I love them. I'm just going to say it. It's what happens when your bookers don't care. When they just want to make a point.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't in it for the long haul. I mean, they proved that.
No.
And they wanted to come out and prove that, hey, look, we were the driving force behind how cool IW was for the last year. Because IW was on the downturn because of the Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
And they took all the best people from IW, but they didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Once they told the stories, they were like, well, okay, we finished all the stories we were telling.
HSW was the first place to actually put a world title on me, but it was probably one of the worst runs I think I've ever had. Because they kind of booked me to be a chicken shit champion. Like I had kind of built sort of this establish of being like, I'm not the bullshitter. I'm not backing off.
Yeah.
Fucking bring your shit. But in that fucking Rumble that I won the title, I spent half of it just sneaking around outside the ring and then did the sneaky double elimination. Then I like ran from majority of challenges. And then first genuine, like the first like real big match I think I had was the one that I lost it. And then I tried to turn it into sort of a renegade face thing, and I really thought it was getting over. I thought I was really finding my groove in sort of a face role. And then the next season started, and then they wanted to do New Divine without Crimson.
Also
they needed me to be like spooky heel again. So, and then
me and Leisha talked about it the other night. Like, I kind of compare it, and I had this problem at XWE now. Like, I'm willing to, talk about my own fucking, faults. When I always say it's like my son, right? Like, he loves dinosaurs, and he's got fucking 20 of them, and they're all lined up on his bed or whatever. Ghost Daddy's still talking. I'll be out there in a minute. Speak of the devil, and he shall rise. But he always wants another one, right? So, but then he gets it, and he doesn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah.
So here was HSW that had this cool little 20, 30 person roster, but then they wanted to bring Tyler back, and they wanted to bring Robbie back, and they want to bring me back, and they want to bring in everybody that gets pissed at David. We're your new house. Come on down. And
pretty much.
They got so fucking bloated that they didn't know what to do with everybody that they had. Like, they had me and Tommy, so they did the obvious thing. They had to put Prestige Worldwide back together, and then built us as the top tag team, but they'll never put the belts on us. And we gave them the fucking story. Like, I walked in there, me and Tyler had squashed our beef, and I'm like, here's your story. You have 8 months to build me versus Tyler Throne at the season finale. That's all you need to do. Mm-hmm. Everything else, I'll play your game. Just give me versus Tyler at the finale. And they almost fucked that off. They were gonna,
and that's weird to me because it's like I'm pretty sure
Jack and Subversion, and I was like, no, I came back here and called out Tyler Throne day one.
Yeah,
and he won't give him to me.
It was.
And then Tyler had to be like, I'm not gonna do anything else if you don't book this match for the finale.
Yeah.
This is why I came here, was to do this match because there's nowhere else to do it.
Yeah. And then I think he ended up joining Creative right after that.
Yeah. And then, and then it just kind of like, it went the way all your fly-by-night fans go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, we'll have a card in 2 weeks. 2 weeks goes by, you don't hear anything. Oh, we hit some snags. We'll have one next week. And then you never hear anything again.
Yeah.
And then somehow the owners are now promoting wherever else. And you're like, hey, whatever happened to HSW? Oh, I don't think we're going to come back.
Almost like when Paul Heyman showed up on WWF.
Exactly.
When ECW went down. And everyone's like, well, what's he doing there?
Like the ECW roster's like, wait, I thought we had another show. What happened to the pay-per-view? Oh, it's canceled. Paul works for WWE now.
Yeah.
And then everybody on the roster is just sitting there with a thumb up their ass, like, well,
yeah. And that was kind of one of the things, because, at the time I felt really strong about HSW. And then when it folded, it kind of killed a lot of my drive anyway. And that's ended up what ended up facilitating me taking like a year off. Was it went down, and then I did that OEW Lionheart thing, and then that fell the fuck apart.
Yeah.
And when that fell apart, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just done. And then didn't touch shit till last October.
Dude, that's the one thing I envy about like you and Joey and this one over here is your ability to fucking walk away.
Yeah,
Because I
like I was
swear,
just
every time I try, I'm like, something fucking happens.
well.
I get interested.
Well, here's the thing. What got me to that point was a full scale fucking mental breakdown. I don't know if you remember, but I was so fucking gone at that point. I literally fucking shaved my head.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I was not doing well.
Yeah. That was the thing.
Then,
though.
and I was like 450 pounds.
Dude, when I'm
That's
gonna
a
say this,
shoot.
after Devil's Night, like some shit went on, whatever, and I think E-Feds is the only thing that kept me going. I went the opposite direction.
Mhm.
I started investing all my mental energy in like trying to ignore all the other craziness in my life into what I was going to do with Eternal. But then that got to be too overwhelming, and you can ask like my little like Eternal group chat, like Rain and Ryan and Tyler Applin. Eternal almost didn't happen.
I can believe it. I
Like-
believe that like there wasn't going to be a continuation for it. I thought, no, this is probably going to be it.
I dropped that hype video January 1st when we changed the name. Like I had scheduled that post like a month before,
Mhm.
where I had changed the name of the group and had the video like Eternals here and the whole thing. And then I came out and I did the like, okay, here's what we're gonna do, here's my plans. And then I couldn't get out of my head long enough to make a card.
Mm.
Like I announced reincarnation, and the only thing I knew that was going to be on the reincarnation card was Ryan K versus Thomas Austin.
Oh wow.
And I was like, well, we might as well do the Rumble. So I announced that. And then even that, like,
Yeah.
didn't go the way I wanted.
Yeah,
it to.
I remember like when so that's funny. It was around that time that I really kind of started poking my head back in. Was right around the time that I had Ness had come to me like September, October-ish, one day just out of nowhere, and kind of reconnected. We started talking again, and then mentioned wanting me to go back to IW because he missed booking me or some shit. I don't remember the exact words. But that ended up happening, and that was pretty much where I was comfortable being at. And then Pro happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I got on with that. And that was really what kind of got me back in focus. And then you started with Eternal. And I'm like, this is a leap. I wasn't sure if I was going to, because like, I remembered, okay, I've tried to make it work with XWE twice and it's never worked. Is it going to be third time's the charm? And the rest, as they say,
I
is
think it's working
history.
out pretty good for you.
So far, yeah, so far.
Yeah. But it was so weird because, and I think you'll understand this because we've kind of talked about like our fucking mental crazies.
Mhm.
Like I couldn't bring myself to reach out to anybody. Like I couldn't talk to anybody about ideas. I didn't want to talk to anybody about like coming in and competing. I'll say this now because it's working out pretty okay, and we've got a great roster now. I think the roster was about 12 people
Oh wow!
on January 1st.
Oh.
Like confirmed, we're definitely going to compete. 20 at the most, but I'm sure it was closer to 12 to 15. That roster that came together for reincarnation, like people wonder why that card was so small. I've had people ask me, like, you came back and that was like a tiny fucking card on your first show back. That was because mentally I couldn't bring myself to talk to anybody. I didn't want to have conversations. I didn't want to deal with people. I still don't really like talking to people that much. Like I have my chat with you guys. I have my few people that I'll have like one-on-one conversations with. Um, I've basically had to pull myself out over the last couple months because that roster's so fucking big now.
Mhm.
But like, it's hard for me to be like a social person right now. I'm still like, I still have those like depressed moments where I'm like, I could just shut it all down. I could archive. I could wake up one morning at 9 a.m. just be like, fuck it, I'm archiving the group.
Mm.
And like that's why I don't ever hold it against people when their Fed just shuts down one day. Because
Yeah,
I
because
understand, like Machinsky's got, Killian. He's got got kids. He's got special need. He's got a special needs kid. It's one of the things that like we fucking bonded over because we both have autistic sons. Conrad had stuff going on in his life that I'm not going to get into. Um, you know, I get it. Like I get sometimes you don't want to play a game anymore because your real life's too hard, or you just have too much on your plate and you have to get rid of what's not important. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you don't want 5 sides with your steak; you just want 2. And I, there's been those moments where I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I deactivated my Facebook the other day. I was like, I just need to fucking get away for a while. I came back like 4 hours later, but still, like,
yeah, that was the most confusing 4 hours, by the way. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here?
I mean, it was just that day was not a good mental health day,
Mm-hmm.
and my phone was just blowing up, like group chats and notifications from Facebook, and I had, like I said, I had stuff going on in my real life, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done with all of this. I'm gonna go radio silent, and when I'm ready to come back, I'll come back. I told the wife, I was like, I need to get my number to a couple of people. Like I'm gonna text a couple of people and be like, hey, make sure this person has my number. But yeah, I was just like, I gotta go. And luckily this one over here taught me out of it. She's like, you're being a little much right now. You're being like Lauren level extra right now. I need you to calm down. So. But yeah, then I fucking reopened Messenger and I see like 12 messages sitting there, and I'm like, oh, people noticed I disappeared that quickly.
Yeah, it happened pretty. Yeah, it didn't take long.
Yeah. So I was like, well, fuck, I guess people do care if I'm around. So I guess I should probably stick.
Yeah. But yeah, like those, that shit just happens sometimes.
You gotta decompress. And sometimes it takes 4 hours, and sometimes it takes 4 months, and sometimes it takes a fucking year,
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't ever fucking decompress. You just find another way.
Yeah.
You can't always go to what's easy. Like that's been one of the big things, like, like I said earlier, like I haven't worked a show in like 3 years, like a real wrestling show. And that was hard, because that was such a part of my life for 15 years. It's like every weekend I'm in a different town, or I'm in the town that I'm running a show in. So when that was just gone one day, you sit there and you go, oh well, let the injuries heal up and we'll be back in 3 months. And then 3 months goes by, and then it's 6 months, and then it's a year, and you're like,
Fuck.
damn, I don't even know where my stuff is right now.
Yeah.
Like that fucking Jimmy Havoc mask I used to wear to the ring, like it's in here somewhere. Well, my kids play with it more than I ever think about wearing it. Like you have to, but then you have to realize that like there's certain parts of your life that even if it's hard, they gotta go away eventually. You can't hold on to everything forever. Like, do I want to be that 65-year-old manager that can't even get in the ring? Like, I just stand at ringside and cut promos, and everybody goes, God, guy's sure hanging on to his spot, isn't he? Kind of feel bad for him. You know,
Yeah,
look, man. In my career, I got to be in the ring with fucking Raven, Ricky Morton, Tatanka, the Boogeyman. Goddamn, you know, I got to have my last match against, I don't know how much you know about indie wrestling, but I got to have my last actual in-ring match against Roscoe Eat Lisa, which were like this big indie tag team. And I remember those guys broke in and started training. And then I got to wrestle them in my last match because one of the guys I was managing didn't show up.
Wow.
And like they were like, well, we need a tag title match tonight. So Nick, you care to wrestle? Hey, do you have your contacts with you? And I was like, yeah, I got contacts in my bag. And I was like, yeah, I can trust these guys. They know I'm a fucking, you know, goof. Nothing look good, but I'll do it. And went out and had that. You know, I got to be in the ring with a lot of cool people in 15 years. Like that's the stuff I hold on to. Dude, I got to fucking be in the ring with Sunny. Imagine being 12, going back and telling 12-year-old me, hey, just so you know, one day you're going to be in the ring with her. Fuck yes, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and then, you know, you think about that one way, and then
I mean, yeah, you think about everything she became after that, but still, like,
yeah,
dude, like, I mean, I dressed up as Raven for Halloween when I was 14, and then I have a picture of him on my Facebook biting my hand now.
that's fucking
like how wild is my life? That like, look, man, the only thing I didn't get to do that I ever really wanted to was work with Kevin Sullivan and Jake Roberts. And both of those things got pitched. Neither one of them ever got to happen. You know, and then I get Jake Roberts stolen from me again in E-Feds, but whatever. But hey, Mikey P got to do that match. Oh, Milfy P. I love Mikey. That's my buddy, but that was pitched for me, and they put Mikey in that spot instead. Like Justin, when that match came up, Justin was like, "That's this kid's fucking favorite wrestler of all time. He gets that match. He's with us anyway. He gets the fucking match." And David was like, "No, we're gonna put Mikey in so we can do Kappa Alpha."
Funny how it works. Funny how it works.
Yeah.
So, I guess this sort of brings up another thing. Is there anyone that I guess is kind of not really active anymore that you didn't get to do anything with?
Oh.
There was a few for me I missed the boat on, I know for sure.
I didn't.
Sure.
I hate to say this because it's like the dumbest fucking thing. I hate that I never got to tell an in-ring story with David. Just because it was always there and it was always lingering right under the surface. Mm-hmm. It got pitched a lot and it just never happened.
Yeah.
Because I always kind of saw myself not really, I don't want to say Stone Cold and Vince because that's way over the top. That's not what my character would have been. But it, you know, the story would have been very similar. God, is there anybody else? No, honestly, because I've been around so fucking long.
Yeah. And so I figure it's probably not a big list of people you didn't get around to.
I wish I had gotten to do more with Steinbaum because we only ever had one-on-one match.
Mm-hmm.
I never had.
Yeah, no, I'd say those count. Those count like ones where like you didn't get to do much with because you know I still count, you know, Joey on my list because we had one crappy match in IW.
Yeah.
And then never touched again till the War Game stuff.
There's one person that I know it's never going to happen. that I never even got a one-on-one. I never got a tag match. I've never been in any sort of match with this person, and I've called them out. I called her out for the show Grant ran last year. Me and Jay Diamond have never done anything.
Oh, really?
Never happened. It
Wow.
never
That's
fell
crazy.
into place that me and Jay Diamond got booked against each other. Which
We
I think
did a
is
tag
wild.
match once. We had a tag match once. We never did anything one-on-one together though, which that's kind of odd, but I don't know.
Yeah. Me and
I
Rocky
feel like
never had a
y'all would have
one-on-one,
worked
but-
it a lot better than
Well, and I think the story, especially now, years later, would be better now than it would have been even in the beginning, because now we have the common connection.
yeah.
Like I'm married to her best friend. Like there's a lot of stories you can tell with that, right? Like there's a lot of easy shit you can play off of. Me and Rocky have never had a one-on-one.
Wow, that's a crazy one.
Yeah, we've told a lot. The funny part is Rocky is probably the person I have told the most stories with to have never had a match against.
Yeah, because I a lot of stuff I remember from like my early days that wasn't something I was directly involved in often involved the two of you together.
Yeah,
I remember like what was it, fucking beat up a body double or something one time.
Yeah, we did. We had the feud. I don't know, whatever faction I was in was facing the Black and Blue crew. There was that. We did a whole tournament tagging together. We did the Howie Felter Snatch Memorial Tag Tournament.
Yeah, I remember that. I was with fucking Mikey.
Yeah, it was. And
I
me and
think
him
it
made
came
it.
down to. I think it was down to. Yeah, at
The
one
finals
point,
was me and Rocky versus Harrison and Kelly.
Yeah, I think we were the semis.
I think so too. Yeah, because I think Mikey no-showed because he wouldn't face me again. Because we had
yeah.
told the story that I had beaten him in his retirement match.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I can never face Nick again." He embarrassed me, so he didn't show up. I don't think he showed up in the semis. But yeah, so we had done that. Fuck, dude, we were in Society X together when they were finally going to turn Rocky heel.
Oh yeah.
When it was me, him. Let's see, it was me, him, Huck, Happy, and Jason. And the whole story was that it was all the XWE guys had come over.
I remember that, yeah.
And Rocky was going to head up this group of XWE invaders. And David was so mad because Jason was supposed to be the XWE champion when it started. And Jason had dropped the XWE title to me at Devil's Night. So then I came over with the XWE title. And I think back on it now, and I realize why so many things went wrong with that. That was the big one. Because he wanted Jason to be the XWE champion and the Alpha champion at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was the XWE champion, and he wouldn't trust me to put the Alpha title on me. And he had me lose to Bubba in our first match of Society X, clean as a whistle, and then had us run from the IW guys at the end of the show. And I was like, well, the whole fucking group's ruined now. I mean, like, we were shit on from day one. But then that was supposed to lead to when Rocky would turn that babyface and he would face all of us. That never happened.
Yeah.
And then the only time we ever actually had a match against each other, like an actual match, us two, wasn't even just us. It was WrestleCade 2, the Elimination Chamber for the IW World title when that title was actually created. When it was me, him, Jason, Harrison, Bartlett, and Onions.
Yeah, I remember that.
For the final two.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember distinctly the written results drop for that card. And I just start scrolling and I'm looking for me to get eliminated. And like Harrison goes out first after Harrison had dropped 9 promos.
Yeah, it shocked the shit out of me when he went out first. I'm like, what?
Harrison went out first. And then Bartlett. Bartlett was third. It was Harrison went out. Then I eliminated Onions.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky eliminated
God,
Jason.
I love that guy. I love that guy.
Onions
I
is
just
the
gotta say,
best.
I fucking love him.
And then I pinned
And
Bart.
I loved the like the thing between the two of you. Every time he showed up, you'd like start freaking out.
Oh, dude, that's the whole gimmick. Is that he's the one person I'm legitimately terrified of? Is Onions.
Yeah, I just loved that. I loved
Because
everything about that.
well, the first story me and Onions ever told together was in Omega when I
Mhm.
was Omega champion, and he came back, and David didn't tell me he was coming back. He would just tell me, he's like, I've got somebody that's going to show up. You're going to know it when you see it, that there's somebody coming back to face you. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like in the middle of a program with Chris Connolly at the time.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of already going nowhere. Because nobody believed Connolly would take the title off me. And then, apropos of nothing, one day, Onions dropped a promo calling me out. And I was like, oh, God. So then I hit up Tony, and I was like, I think I'm just going to sell that I'm absolutely terrified of you. Like, I'll have, like, the lights randomly flicker during my promos, and, we'll intimate that it's you. We'll do a promo where, like, the lights go out, come back, and I'm nowhere to be found. Which we did. And then at one point, I got really paranoid, like in character. And because I had the spooky bitch running around the house, I fully believed that Onions was going to make her turn on me. Like they were going to go
that.
Team Spooky together. So that was the first time I ever hit her with the red mist in a promo.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. The red mist, I've only busted out in a promo 4 times. Once was that one. I hit Killian with it in his hotel room when he came up here to visit. And then now we've used it twice to be the impetus for what turns her into the stabby bitch. Like whatever is in the red mist is what makes her go crazy.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it was great. So, but yeah, so I hit her with the red mist, and then Onions was actually supposed to take the Omega title off me. And then that would be when I jumped back to Alpha. But BZ had Money in the Bank, so they changed it to BZ would take it off me with Money in the Bank. Because I guess Onions was
and
like,
then
I don't know if I'm going to stick around. Yeah, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to stick around Omega long enough to really put a title on me. Yeah. So they put it on BZ instead, which was great because then I got to we got to start making BZ's like special match finisher, the spear, which he hates because he had never done a spear before that. It wasn't in his moveset. He beat me with a spear to win the fucking title. So now the running joke is anytime I put BZ in something, he hits somebody with a spear. And I get to use the word fuckinator because I started calling it the fuckinator. So and then he messages me like every few months when he does come back. He'll message me like, I'm not doing the spear this time. I'm like, yes, the fuck you are. Yes. Debut, you're hitting somebody with the fuckinator, and we're moving on with our lives.
Yeah. So you have managed to do something that DJB has not done. DJB once promised me 3 hours of content on our episode.
I can keep going.
We barely got an hour.
If you really want to set the record.
Unfortunately, I can't quite do that.
Well, you know what that means? It's going to be like Dark and Grave Show. That was the other podcast I did that I couldn't think of earlier. You're going to bring me back for part 2, motherfucker.
I mean, yeah, we're going to have to. We're going to have a part 2 because holy shit. Good times. There's so much. There's still so much more. Like we could literally probably go all day.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's the thing. As goofy and stupid as I call this shit, I can talk about it for fucking days. Because there's so much shit, man.
Oh, there is
so much shit that happens.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Anton was a 2-hour show. I cut that into 2 parts. I'm not bothering on doing that with Lawrence. We went 2 hours. This I'm not fucking cutting. I'm done cutting. I'm done cutting the shows. Like Anton's gonna be like, oh, so you had to cut me in half. But these guys got the full treatment. I see how it is.
Hey, so wait, when is this going to drop?
Probably Friday.
Okay, so you can cut this part if you need to. Either congratulations to Anton or you got totally fucked. Either one.
Congratulations, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, congratulations or I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to work out well, so I don't care.
Yeah. But no, we will for sure have to do another one because holy fuck.
Yeah, dude, whenever you're ready, I'm
This is
down.
a fucking blast for sure. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, dude, anytime. This was a blast.
Yeah. Hey there, future me again here. I don't know if you noticed in this episode, but I was very high. And because of that, I kind of fucked up who I said the next episode of the podcast was going to be. So cutting that part out of the show, and instead right here I'm giving you who the next episode is going to be. So without any further ado, here is the actual guest of honor for the next episode of the Unplugged podcast.
It was a whole thing. Hey, we got to save something for part 2.
Yes. So whenever that happens, hopefully
Hey,
sooner
man.
rather than later.
I'm around. Sundays are my days off. We'll make it happen.
Right. And we'll for sure have to do that. But until then, thanks everyone for tuning into this absolute would it be apropos to say anything related to me and you by ourselves as a dumpster fire?
Fuck you. Cancel everything. Enjoy wrestling for the BS title for the next 7 months, kid. I had almost forgiven you for that.
Well, back to the loony bin I go.
Yeah. All right. Okay, my kids actually want lunch, so this works out perfectly.
All right. Well, again, thanks for doing this, and we'll get you on another time and tell more fun shit.
Beautiful. Down for it.
All right. And thanks everyone for watching, and see you next time. If you're someone who has some history or some stories in the eFed community that you would like to talk about on a platform, well, I've got the place for you right here on the Unplugged podcast. Just hit me up and we will schedule a show just for you. As always, thank you for watching and listening, and I will talk to all of you later on.